So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this. This was a news article under Odd News. Former student returns college library books checked out 20 years early. Okay, so this is 20 years early that this happened here. And librarians at the University of Oxford's Lady Margaret Hall College said that all is forgiven after a former student returned 3 books that were 20 years overdue. I think I still have a Blockbuster video that's, I'd say, probably 20 years overdue as well, but I wouldn't be able to return it now, of course, unless I go to I think there's like one left, I think, maybe, or a couple, but nonetheless, still. This is a British college that said on social media that the books, Philip Stubbs' Anatomy of Abuses, William Pierce's A Historical Introduction to the Marprelate Tracts, and Robert S. Paul's The Lord Protector, Religion and Politics in the Life of Oliver Cromwell, were returned along with an apologetic note from a former student. So the enclosed handwritten note said that the former student had checked the books out as an undergraduate student 20 years ago and were recently rediscovered while they were sorting through boxes of books. So it sounds like this person felt pretty guilty about it, saying, oh no, this belonged to the college, and I forgot about it because I was so busy. Please forgive me, the note said. The post said librarians were grateful for the return. Better 20 years late than never, officials wrote. This note and 3 overdue library books were discovered to their library this week. Thanks to the sender for getting them back home. In the end, all is forgiven. So that's kind of an interesting story there, including the letter there as well, too. And there's even a picture you can find if you research this story. It's available on Instagram, and they do have it. So it's kind of funny there that they were able to get that note there. And they sent it over to the actual library there, too. So, yeah, kind of an interesting story.
Do you ever, that type of thing happens all the time, or you're moving or something and you'll see a library book that you probably should have dropped off instead of put it back on your own shelf.
Oh yeah. I have a kid's book. I remember searching through my basement one time, like maybe it was last year. It was a kid's book and it said my old school's name on it, the Einstein Academy. The place isn't there anymore. So I was like, well, I can't return it now. Yeah.
That fine, that decades old fine that's there. Nowadays, I use Hoopla, which is a free app that's out there. You can sign up with your library card.
Oh, nice.
And you don't have to worry about having to return those books.
Yeah.
They'll automatically return, I believe, after 7 days. And all that is just keeping access out, so that way they don't just leave it out there. Because one of the biggest problems with holding on to a physical book for too long is nobody else gets to read it.
Right.
And it's the same way for a lot of these publishers that put it free out there through the library. They only allow so many copies out in the world. So if you do rent something from Hoopla, where you can get audiobooks, you can get music, you can read actual ebooks, and you get it for a good 7 days. You just turn around and sign right back up. You sign up with your library card.
There you go. Easy to do and better than having to think about returning books, especially if you check out a lot of books. You know? Were you a big book reader when you were a kid?
Oh, always. I was grounded a lot. So it was only books. That was
Only
it.
books.
Books and radio. So I guess that's what I like so much.
Nice. So,
but you have to be able to have access, right? There's not a lot of people, or at least go where the children are, or at least where the community is.
Yep.
And so the community needs that information. So a lot of libraries are going to this more digital interaction for it, where you're able to still get that information that's out. And always recommend going down to your local library. You still got to do that to sign up for your card. But there's a lot of different programs. Check it out. Even if you've had a book that's been out a while. There's a lot of people that don't go back to the library because they have a book that's out. Oh, they'll recognize me. Oh, do I have to wear a bandana so they don't?
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta put in a disguise, get a good disguise there so people don't know who you are. So,
Hey, put a mustache on.
yeah. That's no problem for you.
Yeah, exactly. 2 mustaches.
2 mustaches. So yeah, those local libraries are great. There's so many out there, of course, and they are really moving a lot into the digital side. There still is, of course, the very nice in-person aspect to it. That's the main thing, of course, is going in person. That's still a major thing with libraries. But yeah, we are seeing people moving to the digital side of things, of course, renting movies and TV shows and CDs. It's the days of the past, it seems like now. We're just able to stream it now.
I like seeing the exhibits over at the Gail Borden. They've got so many great exhibits throughout the year that it's almost like going to the museum as well.
Yeah.
And of course, that's where I go to vote, just so I don't have to remember which.
Yep, that's my voting stop too.
But there's lots of different things you can find at the library, both physically and digitally. And so, if you're one of those people that can't seem to remember to drop it back off, maybe digital's the way to go.
I think so. I think that's probably the best thing to do.
But I've got it fired up over here, waiting on Miss French to come over with us and celebrate this Cinco de Mayo. What I love about just Mexican cuisine in general is it really just depends on what shape you want it. Do you want to hold it in a burrito? Do you want it in a taco type of pita thing? Do you want to fry it?
Oh.
Same great ingredients, just prepared.
Yeah, that'll determine it. How you like it, yes.
More WRMN after this.
WRMN News.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. Sunday marked the formal end of the 9-day mourning period for the late Pope Francis. News Nation's Nick Smith reports.
In just a matter of days, Catholic faithful around the world will be keeping an eye on smoke signals from a small chimney installed over the Sistine Chapel. The smoke will be the first sign to the world that a new Catholic leader has been chosen. The papal conclave begins Wednesday when cardinals will sequester themselves from the outside world to elect a new pope. There are cardinals from 71 different countries who will be part of this conclave, making it the most geographically diverse one in history.
2/3 majority is needed to be elected pope. In Barrington, the police department has introduced its first ever therapy dog, Oliver, a 17-week-old English Labrador. Oliver will assist officers during community events, wellness visits, and victim interviews, helping to ease stress and build trust between the department and residents. The initiative is part of Barrington's broader effort to expand mental health and wellness support through non-traditional policing strategies. Today, the Department of Education will resume collecting on defaulted student loans through wage and benefit garnishments. With many students like Stephanie Gentry financially struggling, this change could be crippling.
The tsunami of just financial worry, whether it be from inflation or the tariffs or also student debt.
Over 5 million student loan borrowers are currently in default. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green.
Produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin or head to their website at caneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. 0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit caneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 59. Tonight, partly cloudy with patchy fog after 1 a.m. and a low around 46. Tomorrow, patchy fog before 7 a.m., then mostly sunny with a high near 71. Currently, it is 54 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
And welcome back to WRMN. This WRMN 1410 AM, the talk of the town. Listen live anytime, WRMN1410.com. Well, maybe anytime, except when the Sox are on the internet side. The Sox you can definitely listen to 1410 AM. In the contract, they don't let me play the Sox games over the stream.
No, it's just through the AM 1410 dial. At least we're playing it, though, and rather than not at all.
Right. That's it. We want to make sure that we get everything out there to you, radio listeners. We're also working on a particular animal that plays a different sport. That is, again, all the contract will let me say. That was almost verbatim in the contract. They won't let me say anything else. Thank you all for listening here. Talk Time with Tammy and friends. We're filling in for Tammy. Tammy's in Nashville.
Fun.
That is absolutely fun. You ever go down to Nashville?
I've never been. Have you?
Oh, it's fantastic. And Tennessee, I go down to Gatlinburg most of the time, though.
Okay.
But Nashville's got a bunch of that music aspect of everything.
Okay.
Kind of like New Orleans, but just a different musical scene.
Is there a lot of like country music that's out there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. People busking is what I like.
What's
busking is when you stay on the side of a corner and you play music and ask people to throw change at you.
Okay. Have you ever done that before?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Busking is so much fun. A lot of places you actually have to get a license. So don't just go out there and just think you can. Now, you could, I'm sure, play anywhere. It's the money aspect that does it. But one time in Scotland, I was stranded because I didn't have enough money to get a train back to the ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, my gosh, I have to. But luckily, of course, I brought my guitar.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, yeah, because I found a cool place that was doing open mic, and you got a free beer every time that you went up and performed.
Okay.
So I was like, heck yeah, free beer in Scotland.
And you brought your guitar. That was your saving grace.
Yeah, they got Guinness. So I was able to sit right outside, play a little bit, get enough chump change to get a train.
Did you speak with it? Did you have a little Scottish Scottish accent.
I tried to put one on, and then like a bouncer like called me out. It was like what part of like yeah like what part are you from? Like it was like an odd accent like he'd never heard before. It was like, what part are you from? I was like, I'm sorry, I'll stop. But no, it was fun. I think I only had to play like Wonderwall like 4 times from Oasis. So you play that enough times. But busking's great. It's a good time down in Nashville and even in Gatlinburg. But Gatlinburg's more for like the recreational type of get outside, get into nature type of thing that's out there.
Did people give you Did people ask for requests?
Yeah, there were some requests that were out there. I don't know the song "Quit," and what was the other one? "Stop It." I don't know either of those songs, but they shouted those a lot.
Okay. You're like, there's an upcharge for any musical requests.
Hey, Jeff, it's good to see you right there. It was pretty fun. I've traveled to, I think, 14 different countries. Never had a passport.
Okay.
This is one of those countries. So.
Oh, yeah, this is one of them, right?
Traveled in this one.
Hey, speaking of, well, this is still in the same country. This is from Texas. We have Nancy joining us here. Let me make sure that she gets in and set and ready to go. Nancy is coming up pretty soon. We've got Jeff's Train World tuning in. Thanks so much for commenting in today. Hopefully
That's amazing.
Yeah. Thanks so
We've got Miss Nancy French who's joining us here on the YouTube side of things and also Zoom. Those of you that are refreshing your Zoom, or your YouTube, go ahead and do that now. We had a little bit of a hiccup at the beginning of the show, but we've reset the YouTube and we're live now. Hello, Miss French. Hello. I am not the beautiful blonde that usually sits here, but I'm glad that you are here.
You do look a little different.
I'm glad you are here to fill that role.
Yes, I'm trying.
How is your Cinco de Mayo going?
Good, really good. We had a little pre-Cinco de Mayo party at my house. We played Mexican Train.
How
Did
do you
ever
play
that?
No.
It's like dominoes, sort of, but you build off of little trains, they call them, but you have to build off different parts of the dominoes. It's like dominoes. I don't know.
Okay.
Interesting. Now, of course, I'm going to look it up and see.
Yeah, you are, Matt. Yeah.
It sounds like a knockoff of the Oregon Trail. If you, here it is. Here. The name at least does. That's cool.
Okay.
Oh, you know what's funny? We did not play like that.
Oh, house rules.
I think we played wrong. That's why that little thing was in there. Oh, we didn't know what we were doing. But,
interesting.
House rules there.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
It was fun.
Do you usually play dominoes? Is that a normal game over there?
No, not at all. We also played the yes and no game that we play on the show.
Oh really?
Yes.
I got that.
That's fun.
How'd you do, Nancy?
Well, you know what? I read the questions, Matt.
Oh, so no wow sound effect to you? Okay.
No, and I did tell them about your your deflating sound effects. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll send them on over to you.
Yeah.
Now you know why Tammy insists on reading the questions.
Oh yeah. Yes.
It's I've never seen Alex Trebek on Jeopardy. But he always had the answer, but I've never seen it.
You know, that is interesting. I think they should have game show turnaround, turnaround. Like those game show hosts, they should be on the other side of that. One time.
How well do you think Vanna White would do?
Well, I don't know though. I'm not sure. I don't know. Man, she's been on that show forever.
She has a long time.
Matt McNeil, if you could be on one game show, what would it be? Oh,
my goodness. I would have to say it would probably have to be Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah?
I watched it. I love watching it.
Mm.
Do you?
I love watching it. And sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I know the answer and no one's getting it yet. And then other times I'm like, how did they get that? So it just depends. But I love watching that. That's a fun show. Some people get very excited about it. You can tell it's fun. It's fun.
It's popular.
Very popular.
My mom.
Sonar, what
Go
would
ahead.
you want to? Yeah.
Oh,
Sonar, what would you-
probably Family Feud. But you guys make that look so much fun.
Oh,
You guys play it
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But my mom used to live in Ohio while my grandmother lived in Florida. And in Florida, they got Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune about a half hour earlier
Okay.
than Ohio did.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So she would text my mom the answers.
Oh,
Your mom was like hosting a
funny.
party.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She's like,
Oh,
oh my
that's
gosh, she's so
funny.
good at this.
Nobody could
So
figure
good at
it
this.
out. Like she got
That's
the
funny.
Jeopardy questions too, of like Final
That's
Jeopardy
funny.
down. Weeks it took us to figure out what was going on here. We were like, this isn't able to be done by a mortal person.
That is funny.
But I think Family Feud would be there. Go ahead.
I think the one that was kind of funny is that the $1 million where you answer questions and then you go up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Who wants to be a millionaire? I would
that's it. Who
end
wants
it
to be a millionaire?
like 100,000 and be like, oh, you want me to ask I don't know what color the sky is? Cool, for $100,000, because then they got harder after that. Like, who wants to go for the whole $1 million?
Yeah,
I'll answer an easy algebra question for 64,000. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'll see
And
you
take it
later.
done.
Yeah, that's how I would do. I was like, okay, we get to a point where like, you know what? I'm done. I'm good with the money I have. Bye. I don't want to risk it.
Then you two are obviously not gamblers, because if you're a gambler, you are not stopping
No,
at
I'm not.
64,000. You are not.
I don't think we would pass
I
the
can get
personality
more.
test for the game. They would turn around and be like, if you had $50
Right.
in your pocket, would you give
Right.
up? Absolutely. And a free lunch. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got to meet Regis. Get out of town. That's the best
Right.
afternoon ever. Oh, why aren't you picking me? Wait, what's happening?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, they probably want people that they actually want the $1 million. That's a good point.
Yep.
That's it. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. It is 45 past the hour. Check your watches. Check everything from there. Nancy French and Matt McNeil will continue the Talk Time with Tammy and Friends, sans Tammy. So it is a and friends type of day that's here. Stick around. More WRMN fun coming right up.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free, for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com is the book called DUI Jury Trial, which is the true story of a truck driver in Illinois who was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. Not only was he facing a revocation of his driver's license, but also a lifetime disqualification of his CDL, which would prevent him from ever driving a semi-truck again. This book includes backstories of the truck driver, the lawyers that defended the case, and the DUI expert witness who analyzed the case and then testified at trial as to the proper protocol procedures of the field sobriety tests as well as the breathalyzer test. This nonfiction novel also includes the actual court transcript from the jury trial, a courtroom showdown in which the final verdict would determine the fate of the defendant's livelihood. The book DUI Jury Trial is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
Welcome back, folks, to Talk Time with Tammy and Friends, but it is the and Friends part today.
That's just the and Friends.
It's just
no
the
Tammy.
And Friends today. Tammy is in Nashville, and Nancy, if you haven't noticed already, my voice is not doing that well today, but we're moving along. We're moving along with this. It's the allergies. Do you
have a little cold or allergy?
It's the allergies. It always happens around this time of May. Does it happen to you? I mean, how does the allergies? What is it like in Texas for allergy wise?
I guess it's bad, is what I hear. But
okay.
I only have it like at certain times of the year. Sometimes I guess it's allergies. I never thought I had any, but I do in the fall get some stuff,
Yeah.
But I just take Zyrtec and not have
that's
any.
the way to do
So
it.
it's mine's real minor, but you know what I do get? It's horrible weather. It's rainy. We're gonna have rain all week long. I don't know what you guys are doing. But it's just raining, and with that humidity, it just gives me a headache.
Yeah,
a headache, like a pressure headache.
I get the same thing too. I get that pressure headache when it's very rainy.
Like when you bend down to do something, like it's like that tension.
You just want to sit at home. You just want to nap all day. But then like you got the headache, and then you can't nap because you're awake because you're like, I got this headache and I can't fall.
Right.
So it's like,
but I just you
sit in your jammies and watch cartoons all day. That's what you do.
There you go, cartoons.
Well,
awesome.
We do have a News Nation clip. I've been I've been digging in a little bit here.
Digging in the bin.
Digging in the bin here. Yes, today is World Hygiene Day, and it's a majority. A majority of adults say that they don't wash their hands after visiting public spaces or hospitals. They were more likely to wash after using the bathroom, handling food, or human or animal waste. Yes, News Nation's Nick Smith reports.
Okay.
And of course, it's not working here, but yeah. Well, anyways, it says about a third of people survey that they wash their hands more now than before the pandemic. But that's crazy to think about.
I do. I do wash my hands more now than I used to before the pandemic. But that's a good point though, because I wash my hand. I do art, right? So I paint stuff. I'm always wash my hands after all that stuff. But we're talking about hospitals, and I don't think about if I've left a hospital, if I visited someone I've left.
Yeah,
I don't think about washing my hands, but you should.
Right, I would, because you never know.
Gosh, I didn't. Go ahead.
Oh no! I usually I sometimes forget that too though, because like you think like, oh, the hospital's clean, they clean, But, yeah, it happens. And it's weird too to think about, like, I mean, even with this News Nation clip, it's like the majority say they don't wash their hands after visiting hospitals, more likely after using the bathroom. So after using,
I hope so.
like, you know, more like, well, yeah, handling food. Okay, so I think they're saying like they're more likely to wash their hands after using the bathroom, which is good, of course. But when it comes to like visiting public places or hospitals, sometimes you don't even think about it too. Like, oh my gosh, the other day I saw this video, and it was on like a Pace bus, and someone was using, I don't even know what it was. It was some type of a hammer to hit the chairs, and dust was flying everywhere, like so much dust. And it's just the buildup of people like dead skin cells on the, you know, it's like, it's all these like transit, buses, like that people take, public transportation buses.
Yeah.
And there's like this person was like using a hammer, and it was just like the dust was flying everywhere. And it's like, so kind of weird to think about. So I don't know. But
I know.
So yeah.
Well, supposedly your house has more germs in it than outside.
Well, that makes sense, because especially people, you know, they live in their house and
right,
all those things. Yes, always cleaning though. That's my brother does. He's always like my brother is so organized, and he's always like very clean.
Is he?
Yeah, and I have my twin, so it's like, you know, and I am too, but he's even more so. Like he'll yell at me if I don't put something in the right place.
Wow.
Like that's okay. So we've got Brendan in the comments. Hey, Crystal, and everyone there too. Yeah, Crystal is in the comments here. She wants to be on Survivor.
How
Survivor
funny.
show, especially with Sonar. Oh my goodness, Survivor. I don't know what I would do. I think I would probably have a mental breakdown if I was on Survivor.
No, I would not. I would be the first to go, I feel like.
Yeah. So that's the News Nation for this hour. Hand washing study. That's definitely interesting.
Well, yeah,
interesting for sure. How we see that. Hey, Nancy.
Yes, Matt.
Why don't you ever ask a taco to keep a secret on Cinco de Mayo?
Oh no. Why don't you ever
I'm doing Tammy's bit here.
You are. Why don't you ask a taco? I don't know, Matt. Yeah.
Because it always spills the beans.
No. And pressing the buttons.
And pressing the buttons.
And
I'm doing both
asking
of
a
it
joke
today.
and pressing the buttons. You are multi-talented, my friend.
All right. I got another one, Nancy.
Okay. All right. Let's hear it.
What did the dad say when he forgot it was Cinco de Mayo?
Oh, ay caramba.
That's what I thought it would have been. Taco about a missed opportunity.
No. Is that Alexa or?
No, this is Chat GPT. This is not Google or Alexa jokes. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all right.
Goodness. Yeah. All right. I got one more for you. One more.
Okay. All right.
This one should be pretty, I think, easy. Why did the jalapeno wear a sweater on May 5th?
Something about hot. I don't know.
Well, it's not hot. It was a little chilly.
It's a little chilly.
Oh my goodness. So those are the bad dad jokes for the day today. We still have a couple minutes left. We have Brendan. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah.
Brendan in the comments. Hey. And we do have a caller on hold. We'll take this call. We still have a couple minutes left before we head on into the 3 o'clock hour here. Hi, welcome to the show. Hello.
Good. Since it's Cinco de Mayo and you guys are making like dad jokes and bad dad jokes, I got one. Why don't you tell a taco a secret?
Why don't you tell a taco a secret?
Did we do this one? It spilled the beans?
No, because they always got something to taco about.
Oh, they've got something to taco about. I had to lower the phone volume just in case it was something not good.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I figured y'all like that one.
Oh, that's cute.
That's funny.
That's funny.
Hey, thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
You too.
Bye.
You
Bye.
too.
I think that's our first call for a bad dad joke. I mean, I think
know.
Dean's done it in the past. He's
Has
called
he?
in. Yeah, he's called in for the bad dad jokes. So
I like it. I
there you
like
go.
it. It's funny.
There you
Well,
go.
do you usually eat tacos on the 5th on the Cinco? What do you do? Matt?
We're actually having we are having oh my goodness. What is it called? They're not enchiladas. It's
Enchilado? No.
it's
taquitos?
It's steak and
carne asada?
It's steak and chicken and like a tortilla wrap. It's like not a burrito, but kind of like it, I guess.
Oh, yum. That sounds
So I'm having
good.
that with cheese, and we have it with peppers, and so that is our food for tonight. Yes.
Who's making that? Mom?
All of us. We're all helping out.
You're all doing
We're all
it.
going to help
Okay.
out and make it. Should be good. So should be
All
fun. You hear
right.
that little happy music there? That means we
I
are going
do.
to the break. We'll be back with more Talk Time with the friends of Tammy here on Talk Time with Tammy and Friends. So of course, stay tuned, and we'll be back with more in just a little bit.
On WRMN. Talk time with Tammy and Friends.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. LoveYourMindToday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 3 o'clock.
WRMN News.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. Sunday marked the formal end of the 9-day mourning period for the late Pope Francis. News Nation's Nick Smith reports.
In just a matter of days, Catholic faithful around the world will be keeping an eye on smoke signals from a small chimney installed over the Sistine Chapel. The smoke will be the first sign to the world that a new Catholic leader has been chosen. The papal conclave begins Wednesday when cardinals will sequester themselves from the outside world to elect a new pope. There are cardinals from 71 different countries who will be part of this conclave, making it the most geographically diverse one in history.
2/3 majority is needed to be elected pope. In Barrington, the police department has introduced its first ever therapy dog, Oliver, a 17-week-old English Labrador. Oliver will assist officers during community events, wellness visits, and victim interviews, helping to ease stress and build trust between the department and residents. The initiative is part of Barrington's broader effort to expand mental health and wellness support through non-traditional policing strategies. Today, the Department of Education will resume collecting on defaulted student loans through wage and benefit garnishments. With many students like Stephanie Gentry financially struggling, this change could be crippling.
The tsunami of just financial worry, whether it be from inflation or the tariffs or also student debt.
Over 5 million student loan borrowers are currently in default. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green.
Produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan. Brought to you by Wendy's. Elgin Mayor Dave Captain says he opposes implementing a local grocery tax to counter the state's expiring grocery tax, which will leave a $1.2 million gap in Elgin's budget. Instead, recently approved water and sewer rate increases are set to cover infrastructure improvements. The city council is also considering a ban on single-use plastic bags with a possible 10-cent fee per paper alternative. A Carpentersville man faces multiple felony charges for alleged crimes involving a child. Authorities say 23-year-old Federico A. Vega Jr. was arrested in North Carolina. They allege he possessed explicit images and videos involving children. He's charged with manufacturing and possessing child pornography, criminal sexual assault, and criminal sexual abuse. He's expected to be extradited back to Illinois soon. Kane County homeowners should expect their first installment of their 2024 real estate tax bills to arrive this week, with payment due by June 2nd, that according to Treasurer Chris Lawson. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah! With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 59. Tonight, partly cloudy with patchy fog after 1 a.m. and a low around 46. Tomorrow, patchy fog before 7 a.m., then mostly sunny with a high near 71. Currently, it is 54 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM.
Want to furnish your space without breaking the bank? Or the planet? Remix Market is your destination for high-quality pre-loved furniture, home decor, and more. Each purchase helps us rehome items and keep them out of landfills. From statement pieces to everyday essentials, you'll find it all at Remix Market. Visit us online at remixmarket.com and shop secondhand treasures today.
Turn it on, let's begin. It's talk time with Tammy and friends.
Welcome back to the second hour of Talk Time with Tammy and Friends. This is Just and Friends today. I've got the amazing, marvelous, astute Nancy French here with me. Thank you very much, Nancy, for being here.
Well,
Did you think I was going to say myself? No.
Yeah. That was very nice.
No, I was reading through some of the Ask Tammy letters that we got in here, and there were a couple of them that we set aside that were specifically for you, Miss French. They were science-y, and everybody was talking about how, yes, you come for the fun trivia and the fun and the fashion and everything else, but a lot of people out there are definitely science nerds, and they appreciate your insights when it comes to that.
Yeah, I love science. I do.
Later on today, I think in this hour, you want to talk about the coal miners. I think that's a great lead up into a political talk show later on today. It is fantastic that you are here, but Tammy's not here because she's got some news here with maybe a grandbaby or something that's going on. Have you heard anything other than what we've just heard over here at the station?
Maybe. Well, you know what? She said she was driving. Well, she's driving to Nashville today, I think is what she was saying, right? I think. And yeah, so maybe that baby's going to be born today.
Oh man, good luck to everybody.
Because I know the baby's very, very good size, a very good size, a nice big baby. And I think they want her to have the baby sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Because that baby's getting too big for her. Like it needs to be done.
From most people that I have seen that are pregnant, they are pretty done pretty quick, especially at this point. So.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, I think they were gonna. Yeah, I think she was gonna have the baby here any day. So maybe it is soon, but I haven't heard.
We'll see. I think we might be on the clock, but we'll see what happens. Hey, earlier today on the morning show, Susie C had the question of the day. So I was going to pose that to you.
Okay.
The question of the day was, what smells do you have attached to what memories that usually come up? So a lot of people had said like gasoline because they worked in their grandfather's garage, or somebody said campfire smoke. For me, it's fresh cut wood, as if you like in the like sawdust and that side of it of just being in my dad's workshop. It just has that great smell to it. Was there anything that immediately triggers a memory for you?
That's funny. It's a very weird memory, and it's not a weird memory, but it's obscure. Like why would that matter? But if I smell a certain candle, it's a certain smell. I don't know if it's a vanilla-y smell, but it reminds me of this one candle I had in junior high school. So how weird is that? I can remember that candle. My memory is not great for long term. I think it's because we moved around a lot. I could be wrong, but my brothers and sisters and I, we don't remember like teachers and, all the kids and where, because we moved a lot. And I think maybe memories are grounded in, kind of reliving the same thing. I don't know, but all of us were all the same. But that's funny. But that candle, that one scent, I remember that. Yeah. And just a new clothing, like when you buy something new, especially when I was a little kid, just the smell of it, new clothing.
Like that fresh cotton.
Yes, fresh cotton, and I don't know, it's probably the sizing. It's probably not good for you. Probably not good for you, but Yeah, like the sizing, I don't know, steaks grilling, or, brings back when my dad used to grill. And yeah, the sense of smell is one of the strongest memory producers that there is, any of your senses.
Yeah, they
the
said
sense of smell.
if you're studying to have like a peppermint or something, just so that you can associate that. We've got a caller coming in right now. Let's see if they're going to want to talk about their nose. Hello, caller. Welcome in.
Hey, I got a big enough nose, so I know.
Go ahead and stick it in. What do you got, caller?
Well, this is the Dutchman. I make sawdust. So what do you think I'm going to be? Just like you said your dad does. I make sawdust.
Oh, nice. I love the smell of sawdust.
Love it. Oh, I got some wood from Hawaii I brought back a couple years ago, and it's a cypress wood. And when I turned it, it made the whole inside of my shop smell like a perfume bottle. I never had that kind of. It really smelled up everything for quite a while, and I almost passed out. I should have been wearing a mask when I was doing that, but that was kind of interesting. Some woods will do that. They've got like a perfumey smell to it. But then the other one, because I was a firefighter, I love the smell of burning wood. I know, but that's probably where my lungs are kind of. I got to have an inhaler. But yeah, I did that for years. Yeah, I was a wildland firefighter, so instead of burning houses, I was smelling burning bushes.
Can you tell what kind of what tree is being burnt by the smell? Because some of them have different smells to them, like you said, for even getting cut.
Oh yeah, like pinyon or some of those different ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the pines probably smell the most that anybody probably would smell, unless you're barbecuing and you're doing a. That you're smoking hickory or something, like in a barbecue or something.
Yeah.
Well, see, I've got a smoker, and when a lot of times I'll use a smoker to do the ribs or something, and I'll use a hickory or I'll use an applewood. The applewood really smells good. So,
that sounds good.
I know. See, I'm talking to myself to getting ribs, even though it's Cinco de Mayo day. I'm like, I should be eating tacos, right?
Yeah.
So
but I want a steak now.
I want to tell you, I know Soner. I bug usually Soner on the afternoon, but I bug you guys every once in a while. I'm also Jeff's Train World, so I'll make a mess of it. But you guys are great. The whole radio station's got a good programming situation. You and Tammy and Matt and everybody, I always bug you guys from morning, noon to night. So keep up the good work. And I always look forward to listening to the afternoon session with the Sonar and getting into the political thing, because a lot of my friends kind of argue with me with that. I said, just listen to Sonar.
Oh, don't sleep on Nancy now, because she'll educate you just as much. We're going to be talking later on today about the coal miners and the health protections that have been stripped away.
I know. I have a couple friends of mine who did that. It is not a fun job. Well, but he lives in Virginia, and he's in Culligan, West Virginia. He's a woodworker. He's a great guy. He teaches. His son is, his last name, there you go. So he's part of that family. But you tell the story about how depressed that area is. I know Sonar has talked about certain things.
Yeah.
It's a regional thing. They depend, even though they don't, they know that the risks of being a coal miner, what it involves, they still do it because it's what their livelihood and what their family has been doing for generations.
Right.
So, that's a big. You guys really do some research into that. It's amazing what people do out there. So, anyway, I'll get off. You guys have a great afternoon. I'll be listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Yeah, they talk about that, and a lot of people give Joe Manchin a lot of disrespect because of the quote clean coal things and everything else he was trying to do for those states. And again, just like the Dutchman said, it is the only thing that has that infrastructure that's in there. So until we start putting a different one together, that's it. This is the Dutchman's. This is the trains here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's got a few trains. If you're looking on YouTube, a couple models, some mountains up in the top.
Wow, that's neat. Really cool.
Check out that YouTube channel as well. That is Jeff's Train World. You can find that over there. Hey, Nancy, is it okay if we take a break real quick?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and do that. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for being a part of the show. This is Talk Time with and Friends. Here today. Stick around. We've got more to talk about. Nancy is going to answer some questions that we got from the listeners over here. There's a question about hard-boiled eggs. There's another one about cats.
Funny.
And then
I don't know if I know about cats.
Oh, there's one more out there about bread. And what's all going on in there? We'll see.
Could you have breakfast with that? Maybe, I don't know.
It sounds like breakfast with cats and a few other things that we've got over here.
Breakfast with cats. Breakfast with cats. Okay.
Talk Time with and Friends will continue right after this. Stick around. Political party poopers got you down? Shake it off and join me, Dennis Sonar Green, every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. on WRMN for A Political Talk Show, where we cut through the doom and gloom with a focus on America first, constitutional values, and a populist perspective that puts you, the citizen, at the center of the conversation. At WRMN, the talk of the town, we're not afraid to challenge the status quo and bring you the straight talk you need. Whether you're frustrated with the political establishment or looking for a clear, some nonsense analysis, this show has you covered. Tune in. Let's take on the issues together with a fresh, unfiltered approach. Catch us every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. on WRMN, A Political Talk Show. WRMN, the talk of the town.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast right here on WRMN, 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Noory with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My Grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my Grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Talk Time with Tammy and Friends. I'm filling in because we're hoping to wait on some good news from Tammy and her family. Maybe some good news about a new member, but we'll see. We've got the regular members joining us here today. Nancy French is on the line with us. We're going to go through a couple of these Talk Time with Tammy and Friends, Dear Tammys, that we set aside that are specific to Miss French.
Oh,
They say they like the show. They like they like Tammy. They even like sending in some letters. But I'll tell you, you've got some fans out there too, madam.
oh my. Okay.
So here we go. This is here. Hey, Tammy and Friends. This might be the oddest question you get today, but I figure if anyone can handle odd with grace, it's your crew and Nancy French, to be specific. So last weekend, I was peeling hard-boiled eggs for potato salad. Family recipe, very serious business. And I noticed the ones I dunked in cold water peeled like a dream, while the others were clinging on like barnacles. Why is that? Is the cold water doing something scientific, or is it just one of those kitchen myths? Nancy, I'm counting on you to crack this one. Pun very much intended, because they know how much you love them.
Oh, yeah.
All the best, Barb from Elgin. So it looks like Barb was making some hard-boiled eggs and had cold soaked some of them. It seems like she wasn't almost like to set them aside. It almost sounds like. So she still had some warm ones she was cracking ahead of time. So what's happening with that cold water side of things?
Okay, well, I have an answer for this caller.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, plunging eggs in cold water after cooking them, it makes it easier to peel because the egg actually contracts with the cold water inside of the shell. So the egg will contract, pulling it slightly away from the shell membrane.
Oh, so it kind of already starts to separate from it anyway.
Yeah, because it contracts it, because cold contracts, heat expands.
Wow.
So there we go. I can't believe it. I have an answer for that.
Barb from Elgin, there you go. And everybody else, if you ever want to send a Ask Tammy and Friends or anything like that, you can always send us a message on the text line 505-926-1410. Even if you're just messing around, you're sitting around the house, you know what? I think Nancy will know this. I'll send a message real quick. 505-926-1410. We'll pass it along. Hey, this next one comes from St. Charles. Hi, Tammy, Nancy, and the WRMN gang. First off, thanks for being the background to my morning runs through the park. So I guess they listen to it on the YouTube side.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Your show's the reason I don't skip leg days.
You don't skip what?
I don't skip leg days.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I like it.
Nancy, I've got a cat named Jules who has recently taken up leaping off the top of my fridge. What gets me, right? What gets me is no matter how wild the jump, she always lands like she's meant to do it. How do they do that? Is it instinct? Is it balance? A built-in gyroscope? My daughter says it's, quote, cat magic, but I suspect physics is involved. Hoping you'll settle the debate. With admiration and curiosity, Mark from St. Charles. So it looks like Jules is jumping around everywhere.
Okay.
How do they do this?
Well, Well, Sonar, let me tell you how they do this. I'm not a big cat person, but cats have very flexible spines, and their hind legs are very, very powerful. So, with the very flexible spine and powerful hind legs, it gives them that agility.
Being able to twist to the right way.
Twist in midair, and I believe that their skeletons are very light, right? And so they land lightly. When they land, they can land. It gives them advantage in jumping, but also in landing, it's like a shock absorber. So they really know how to absorb with their whole body. So. Yeah, they are pretty amazing in that respect.
Nancy, have you ever heard of the buttered cat principle?
No.
We might have stumbled upon anti-gravity, right? What happens if you have a piece of bread and it falls off the counter? What's it going to do?
A piece of bread?
A piece of bread that you've got butter on. A buttered piece of bread.
Oh, yeah. Oh, a buttered piece of bread.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It'll fall butter side down.
Right?
No question about it.
Cats always land on their feet.
Yeah.
What if I strap a piece of buttered toast to the back of a cat? Anti-gravity.
Right. I think the cat would twist around and eat the buttered toast before it landed on its feet.
That's how you determine altitude. Is how many bites are left of the
bread. That's right. That's right.
We didn't get to the other one, Geneva. That was about bread and everything else. But we're going to go. Funny. We might get over to it later. But when we come back, we're going to talk about your after 100 days. Trump vows to boost coal cuts and a lot of benefits that are happening for the health protections. You can read more at abcnews.go.com. Miss French and I will go ahead and break that down with you. Stick around. More talk time with Tammy and friends. Focused more on the friends this time. It's about time, Tammy. It's about time.
Tammy, we can do it too, sort of. Not as well as you, but
we'll be right back.
We're trying, right? All right.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Wendy's. New insights have emerged in the decades-old case of Karen Sheppers, the 23-year-old woman missing since 1983. Authorities believe Sheppers' car entered the Fox River far from where it was eventually recovered, its emergency brake locked, signaling that she may have tried to stop the vehicle before it plunged in. Her remains were identified with no evidence of foul play or trauma. The cause of death remains undetermined. The Elgin Police Department is now accepting applications for the role of public safety telecommunicator. This crucial position involves handling emergency and non-emergency calls, providing vital communication between the public and first responders. The deadline to apply is Monday, May 30th. A new chapter begins in Naperville as Mary Gibson and Ashfaq Saeed were sworn in as city council members following a ceremonial inauguration. Returning council members Dr. Benjamin M. White and Ian Holzhauer also took their oath of office, reaffirming their city leadership. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid in a combo or in third-party delivery platforms.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to handle the busy holiday season, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind?
Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 59. Tonight, partly cloudy with patchy fog after 1 a.m. and a low around 46. Tomorrow, patchy fog before 7 a.m., then mostly sunny with a high near 71. Currently, it is 58 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Welcome back to Talk Time with Tammy and Friends. No Tammy today, but that's okay. We've got me, Dennis Sonar Green, filling in for this part. And of course, fantastic mind of the radio. This, of course, is Miss Nancy French. Thank you very much for being here.
Welcome. Happy to be here.
Hey, you wanted to talk about something that was pretty important to you.
Yeah.
There's a news article that is out on ABC News, and it is titled "Coal Miners Speak Trump as Trump Strips the Health. I Want to Live. Coal miners speak out as Trump strips away those health protections." And this is about the black lung. From this, does it go all the way into the coal miners' work health surveillance program? Is this what you're talking about in here, or I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if our listeners know what black lung disease is, but it's a really debilitating respiratory illness, and it's common to coal miners. So it has, and get this, in the last 25 years, it has made a staggering resurgence, particularly those among the younger generation of miners. I know I saw a little clip. I forgot what news source I was watching, but they were talking about a 30-year-old coal miner, only 30 years old, having black lung. So this is a very, very serious condition. Usually they die from it. People can die from it. Another problem is you have to be hooked up to oxygen because you just cannot get the air that you need through your lungs. Thank you. Did Matt put that up? Yeah, there it is. I mean, it looks like coal, doesn't it? And it's devastating. So the reason why in the past 25 years it's had a resurgence is because the miners are cutting through more rock and accessing deeper, harder to reach coal seams, exposing them to a harmful dust particles called silica. So the silica is what's causing a lot of the damage. Experts say that it's about 20 times more toxic than pure coal dust.
Oh, goodness.
And that is crazy. So even as President Trump vows to reinvigorate America's coal industry, critics are saying that he's stripped away key protections for the miners. In his first 100 days of office, Trump's administration has just decimated the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. It's called NIOSH, I guess. I don't know if that's how you say it, but the federal institute that protects miners from black lung. That's what that is. And paused enforcement of a new safety rule that would lower the level of silica dust in the mines. And one miner is quoted as saying, you don't take care of the miners, you ain't gonna mine coal. So
yeah.
He goes on to say, the machine don't run itself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So some of the more 800 NIOSH, I'll just say, employees were placed on administrative leave. Around 2/3 of the entire workforce. That's what that is. These poor people, they started taking matters into their own hands and trying to do as much work as they possibly can before they're laid off in June. Now, the president says that they have another institute that they're going to take over with. Well, what these people are saying that those people that the new people that are coming in don't know. They aren't experienced like the ones that they're laying off.
They're making this new administration, the Administration for a Healthy America, I think is what they're
it's called
moving to.
U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is what it's folded under. This new one.
We've got a caller online whose uncle had a black lung. Hey, Trusty Pat, thanks for being here.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I was listening in, and my uncle worked in the coal mines in the 40s and 50s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he quit the industry because of his fears and so forth. Ended up being an operator, but ended up going in the hospital and dying of black lung. What the caveat of that I thought was kind of interesting is my aunt, when she went into the nursing home, she had full insurance under the black lung policy. So his dependent got the policy, and my dad was in charge of her health back then, and he had a non-resuscitate. They resuscitated her 3 times, and found out the reason was because of her insurance being so good. They were sticking extra drugs for people that couldn't afford it, and it was filling up a bed at the nursing home, and because their insurance was so good. So I don't know how that's changed over the years. You know, she died in the late 70s. Was in the nursing home for 4 or 5 years. So I don't know how that changed, but he died in the early 70s. But it was from black lung is what I understood back then. But it's kind of strange how that all transformed. But now you say silicas, that my workers, OSHA has the fact that I'm an HVAC contractor. There's silicas that are a problem when you drill into concrete. So I know there's
interesting. In concrete too. Okay.
Yes. Concrete also. So it was cited because of silicas. We have to wear certain masks. So anyway, I'll let you talk further. But interesting subject, and thank you for bringing it up.
Wow.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's interesting. I didn't think about concrete. Being. I do see a lot of these guys that are that work on the houses around. Where I live in Texas here, and they're cutting that. They're a lot of stonemasons.
Yeah.
And they're cutting those, the stone, the travertine and all the stone. And sometimes those guys don't have masks on.
Well, not to mention.
I wondered, I thought, this looks really bad just as a layperson about that. So.
Well, also in construction as well, in renovations, there's a lot of lead paint, and you have to be certified to remove that. And that is a whole get up. of taking that home. You put in you wear the entire it's like the booty that you put on your foot, but you put your entire body into.
Body in it? Yeah.
And then you have to tape it off. You have to also tape off the entire area that you are working on. I got the chance to do a video with somebody who was doing that and saying, this is how you remove a window that has all of these in it.
Okay.
And they make sure that you don't take that home with you. So you're not getting it on your clothes and everywhere else, and then you end up putting it in your own ecosystem. So I could see where Pat's aunt actually got that coverage as well because of this. You don't know what you're taking home.
No, you don't know what you're taking home. That's, and some of these coal miners, boy, they know they need the protection, like you guys were talking about. Yes, of course, that is an area where they mine coal. They've done it for a long, long time. But until we come up with new jobs for those people, and as we move away from fossil fuels, possibly, hopefully, because obviously it's very detrimental to people's health. Even in the best of times. And so but until that happens, please protect the workers from what they're doing today.
If you're going to say it's a necessity, and you're going to say that the entire community, the entire industry, the entire world hinges on these people, then let's protect them as if the world and the community and everything hinges on these people. So
Right. So, and one of the workers for that organization that they're cutting, saying that nobody else in the federal government does the work that they do. They don't know how. Like I was saying earlier, nobody else knows how to do the work that these people specific to the coal miners do, and so they are very concerned that when they let all these highly experienced people that have been doing this for years go, what's going to happen to the miners? What's going to happen?
If you want to call your U.S. Capitol representation, you can always call the United States Capitol switchboard, 202-224-3121, 202-224-3121. You just provide your zip code and they will connect you to the appropriate office. If you want to read more about what Ms. French and I are talking about here, the specific article that we're talking about here is on abcnews.go.com. It is titled, "I Want to Live, Coal Miners Speak Out as Trump Strips Away Health Protections." It was written last week by a few different people. And you can even catch a video of Michael Strahan going into this as well, right from that link. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll see what Miss French knows about bread. We've got another Ask Tammy, but it is directly calling on Miss Nancy's expertise. We'll be back with more Talk Time with and Friends when we come back.
Let me tell you a story about Bill. Bill was a normal guy in his 50s. He had back surgery about 2 years ago. Bill was in a lot of pain. He dealt with his pain by taking the Percocets his doctor prescribed for him. Bill took more and more and more of them to help with the pain, until one day the prescriptions weren't enough to get rid of Bill's pain. Then one day, Bill found someone to help him get rid of the pain with illegal drugs he didn't need a prescription for. Fast forward to today. Bill lost his job and his family. The only thing he does have is his drug dealer. If you know Bill's story and you don't want to end up like Bill, call the Detox and Treatment Helpline right now to get away and get treatment.
800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. Call right now. Help is standing by. 800-694-1127.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up.
See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Youth football season is almost here. Elgin Steelers Youth Football and Cheer is now part of the prestigious Pop Warner League in Chicagoland. We're serving youth athletes of all ages, building character and fostering teamwork. Registration is now open, so don't miss out on the chance to be a part of a winning tradition. Multi-athletic registration discounts are available, and we're looking for dedicated volunteers to join our coaching staff. Shape the future of our youth. Plus, on April 14th, the Elgin Steelers Youth Football and Cheer start spring conditioning. Get all the details and register at elginsteelers.com. That's elginsteelers.com. Go Steelers!
Systems run everything. Government, economy, media, justice. They shape your choices, your opportunities, your future. But do they work for you or against you? On Apolitical Talk Show, we break them down. Not to destroy, but to understand. Because if you don't see how the system works, you won't see when it's being manipulated or who's benefiting from it. Power belongs to those who know the rules, challenge the loopholes, and demand accountability. That starts with knowledge. That starts here. Join us weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. as we uncover what's really happening behind the headlines so you can decide for yourself what's fair, what's broken, and what needs to change. Apolitical Talk Show, breaking down the systems to build them up together. Right here, weekdays, 4 to 6 on WRMN, the talk of the town. Welcome back to WRMN. It's talk time with Tammy and friends. Tammy's not here, but that's okay. I'm filling in with the marvelous Miss French. Appreciate her being here.
Marvelous Miss French. I like that. Marvelous Miss French.
Next time I'll do a little bit better, and by next time I mean I'll just let ChatGPT do it, and then it'll be better, I guess. But thanks, thanks for being here with me, dear listener and Miss French. We are here to talk to you because, of course, it's talk time with Tammy and friends, and if we sang, then it wouldn't work out so well.
No, probably not.
We were doing a couple other things here. You told us all about the magic of both eggs and their, I guess, shrinkage.
Yes,
is what I've heard it was called sometimes.
Shrinkage. Yeah, I've heard that before, Sonar.
And also the cat acrobatics and them being able to do a downward dog in the middle of the air. We've got one more that's here, kind of steps into that buttered cat principle. And I'm going to try it out. I've got 2 cats at home, so I mean, I can do one with.
Try that out. Huh?
Yeah, one with wheat and one with white, just to see which.
How are you going to hold that bread on though?
Oh my goodness, I'll have to find.
That's going to be hard. You got to put jelly on the other side. You know.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
That'll mess up because if it's jelly on one side and butter on the other, what side's going to hit?
Which is denser, butter or jelly?
Oh, I don't know. Margarine?
I think butter.
Dear Tammy and team, I'm one of those listeners who doesn't call in but talks back to the radio like we're in the same room.
Yeah, I've done that.
I've been with Tammy since the early days, and it's been such a comfort, especially during long afternoons at home here in Geneva. Nancy, you've got a great way of breaking down science so it doesn't feel like school. So here's what I've been thinking about lately. I bake bread every Sunday, and it always amazes me how dough turns into soft, puffed up loaf in the oven. What exactly is happening in there? I know yeast is involved, but is it just bubbles or something more? Would love to hear you walk us through it. Sincerely, Joni T in Geneva. It might be Joanne. Yes, Joanne, sorry. Joanne T in Geneva. And yeah, cooking bread that long and still amazed by the mystery of it. I don't think you and I could ever last more than maybe 2 weeks of doing something before we were like, nope, this is why God put it in the way.
That's right. That's right. What is the chemical reaction there?
Exactly. So she's asking, she does the whole bread process. She uses yeast. I'm not sure which type of yeast, if it's the live stuff with the, the sourdough yeast might be different or whatever. So she uses yeast, but she's not sure where the bubbles or how it gets puffed up in general. Do you know?
Well, I do know, Sonar. Bread dough transforms into bread through a combination of a chemical reaction, mostly fermentation, like she talked about, and the effects of heat. Of course, there's also the kneading and such. Yeast consumes the sugars in the dough, producing carbon dioxide. Hopefully not carbon monoxide.
Oh, yeah.
Carbon dioxide, which creates air pockets and makes the dough rise. The heat then and then the heat causes another reaction, browning, and protein coagulation, solidifying the dough and forming the bread structure. So when you mix and knead the bread, you're developing gluten, right? So when you're doing that, and that gluten prepares it for fermentation. And the fermentation is to break down fermentation, it's yeast that eats the sugars in the dough and then produces those bubbles, those carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide, and actually ethanol.
Oh, well, so there's a lot of chemical reactions going on. It's the yeast breathing and eating.
Yeah, breathing and eating. It's a live thing. It's a real live thing, isn't it? Yeah, and my daughter always tells me that she used to work for the cookie factory, this cookie place, and she said, that you can do a lot of jimmy rigging with cooking, right? Everybody kind of uses different seasoning and cooks things in different ways. She said, boy, you have to be careful with baking. Baking you have to have the right ratios for baking, right? And because baking is more of a chemical reaction, obviously, than cooking a steak, right? Or making enchiladas or
mechanical or electrical engineering. That seems to be a little simpler, right? You push the domino over and the other domino hits that one. I'd much rather build
physics. It's just physics.
Way easier. Chemistry and biology, oh my goodness, they can stay over there.
Oh, sure.
But it's neat to think about how it's all of the different, I guess, disciplines of science that all kind of permeate through the world.
They do. Just like physics. Physics is just part of. I wish I knew how important physics was to life. When I was in college, I did take physics, but just one class, and I was getting my degree. But I could have really gotten more into physics because it is how things work. It's how our world works.
You would have been a pool shark then at that point.
Not, but,
it's all about the angles and everything.
If I really got into it, yeah. Well, I think you need some physical skill too, Sonar.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I mean, you can have some theories, but can you Can you do it?
No.
Execute it.
I've been hiding from exercise. I'm in the fitness protection program.
You're in the fitness protection. I have not heard that. That is pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I got to hide away. Crystal the boss lady has been baking bread, and she says it's such a challenge. Over the week, she's tried a few different ones. Bagels and a few.
She tried bagels?
She tried bagels.
Oh, I can't even imagine a bagel.
Yeah. It really started with the sourdough side of it.
Yeah, everybody loves the sourdough.
She used some of it, wasn't too happy about it, and now while the sourdough's regrowing, because she had to use some of her her culture for it. So so now she's trying all these other breads, which yay for me, because I like my sugars like I like my women complex. So I'm getting all kinds of different baked goodies around, and it's wonderful.
I love bread. I mean, I love all kinds of bread.
Mm-hmm.
You name it, I love. Yeah, and it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to get it light and fluffy. You know, I've tried to make bread throughout the years. The only thing that always turns out is beer bread.
Ooh, okay.
You can't go wrong with the beer bread. That is so easy to make.
Of course, and even if you don't make it, you can just forget what you made.
You could, or just drink the beer and forget the bread.
Miss French, thank you very much for joining me today. We'll see what kind of adventures we'll have for tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, dear listener. You've been listening to Talk Time with Tammy and Friends here on WRMN as they sing it under me. That's a great song. Find it out there on Spotify, I guess now. Maybe I'll put it in there. The AI group, the Talk Time and Tammy trio. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned for a political talk show after this.
Bye, Sarah.
This is Larry Jones.
Bye.
In the last 10 years? Is your bank another faceless branch with headquarters in another city? Are you tired of earning next to nothing on your savings account or certificates of deposit? Or does your personal banker treat you like a stranger? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're ready for a new banking experience, and American Eagle is the place for you. American Eagle is a locally owned independent bank that's rooted in the community, and American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400, and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 4 o'clock.
WRMN News.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. Sunday marked the formal end of the 9-day mourning period for the late Pope Francis. News Nation's Nick Smith reports.
In just a matter of days, Catholic faithful around the world will be keeping an eye on smoke signals from a small chimney installed over the Sistine Chapel. The smoke will be the first sign to the world that a new Catholic leader has been chosen. The papal conclave begins Wednesday when cardinals will sequester themselves from the outside world to elect a new pope. There are cardinals from 71 different countries who will be part of this conclave, making it the most geographically diverse one in history.
2/3 majority is needed to be elected pope. In Barrington, the police department has introduced its first ever therapy dog, Oliver, a 17-week-old English Labrador. Oliver will assist officers during community events, wellness visits, and victim interviews, helping to ease stress and build trust between the department and residents. The initiative is part of Barrington's broader effort to expand mental health and wellness support through non-traditional policing strategies. Today, the Department of Education will resume collecting on defaulted student loans through wage and benefit garnishments. With many students like Stephanie Gentry financially struggling, this change could be crippling.
The tsunami of just financial
worry, whether it be from inflation or the tariffs or also like, okay, student debt.
Over 5 million student loan borrowers are currently in default. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green.
Produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
I'm Nick Freeman, and here's what was happening in our fair city 100 years ago. Police today were attempting to establish the ownership of a Chevrolet automobile truck containing 2 half barrels of alleged beer and parked in an alley in the rear of the Royal Cigar Store last night. Police officers watched the truck for over an hour, but no one appeared to claim it. Authorities are inclined to believe that the alleged beer runners were tipped off to the officers' presence. Officer Schmuel notified the police station of the truck's discovery at 8:10 o'clock. Led by Mayor Earl R. Kelly, a squad of policemen investigated. A telegram was sent to the Secretary of State at Springfield last night for information regarding the holder of the automobile truck license number. Up until noon today, no reply had been received. Police declare that the truck has been in Elgin before. It is believed to be the property of an Aurora beer runner. The 2 half barrels were seized and are pending an analysis by city officials who will ascertain the contents. In weather news, Elgin was visited by a real honest-to-goodness frost last night. The thermometer showed a low temperature of 31 degrees, which is 1 degree below freezing.
Elgin 100 years ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 years ago at www.elginhistory.org.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 59. Tonight, partly cloudy with patchy fog after 1 a.m. and a low around 46. Tomorrow, patchy fog before 7 a.m., then mostly sunny with a high near 71. Currently, it is 58 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all.
Hi, this is Sue with Newman's Corner Pub in Hampshire, Illinois. Are you looking for the perfect hangout spot? Swing by Newman's Corner Pub right at the corner of 72 and State Street in Hampshire. Enjoy fantastic drinks, live music, and a fun crowd that makes every visit special. Test your luck with our hot slots and our Queen of Hearts drawing every Saturday at 3 p.m. Challenge your friends to darts or pool while you're here. Newman's Corner Pub, where every day feels like a weekend. Visit us at Route 72 and State Street in Hampshire. That's Newman's Corner Pub, your new favorite spot.
Listen this Sunday afternoon to Handle on the Law.
I know we're at an at-will date, but for making a comment, like, hey, your hair looks good. And then I got a call from HR saying, hey, you know what, you're under investigation. Do I have any recourse?
Were you fired?
No, not yet.
The problem, Eddie, is they can fire you for any reason they want. They literally can wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm a little bored this morning. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire Eddie for no reason. Yep, he can do that. Yeah, that's California. Yep, welcome.
It's Handle on the Law this Sunday afternoon from 4 to 7 right here on WRMN.
Welcome to a political talk show on WRMN. WRMN 1410 AM and WRMN1410.com is where you can find the simulcast. One of those simulcasts is also on YouTube, youtube.com. You can find us at WRMN Radio. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the show. Thanks for being engaged with the station. Lots of people jump in on the chat line. Lots of people also send us over those text lines. 505-926-1410 is the place to go for that. In the second hour, we're going to open up the phone lines as well and go down some headlines. You know how we like to do here on A Political Talk Show, where we talk about the blind spots and maybe a couple of other things here and there. I want to welcome you into A Political Talk Show. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. A Political Talk Show is supposed to be the political show that you don't normally get. What do we mean by that? Well, the political show that will allow multiple voices on at a time, even if they are conflicting, they can still share the same space. We try to have a conversation based around good faith arguments. We try not to attack character. And I would ask anybody who does call in and joins the conversation to respect those as well. We want to make sure that we're not just having a shouting match at each other. A lot of times we talk past each other. We hold on to one fact, and that's our, our silver bullet for the argument. Oh, I can't wait for them to say that. And then I can pull this up. Oh, well, what about this? What about that? What about those? Hey, they did this too. So here on A Political Talk Show, yeah, we can bring up those points. We can talk about those, but we don't need to talk past each other. So today I'm going to take a couple of things that you hear just in normal parlance that we all kind of just take for granted, especially as far as inflation and the COVID-19 response and everything else. When we talk about, let's say, Biden's inflation, we talk about that as if it's policies that only were within normal, operations for things, is the best way to put it. A pandemic in the middle of it. We also had global shutdowns, local shutdowns, a few different things here or there. By all means, yes, that is an accurate way to put the Biden administration. The other way is no one wants to work anymore when they can stay home. We heard that a lot. Why get a job when you can just stay home? That again, another valid side. Biden's inflation is twice as much as Trump's inflation. Or you hear the buyouts for the billionaires while the rest of us go. So we'll talk about some of these slogans and we'll talk about some of these things that we talk past each other on. Hey, Brendan, it's good to see you there, buddy. Thanks for sticking around. And one of the slogans of things like the cure can't be worse than the disease, right? These are things that we all heard when we were talking about the pandemic. We were talking about the inflationary period. When we were talking about the PPP loans, when we were talking about the $1,200 and the $1,400 and the $600 extra for the week and all of these other numbers and things like that. And I think a lot of times we bury everything down to the simple side. We try to overuse Occam's razor. But Occam's razor talks about necessity of simplicity. You bring it down to as simple as necessary. Not simple just to be simple, but simple as necessary. Right? I can tell you how to drive a car. Well, you point the end forward, spin the wheel around. Simple. Describes what's going on. Can you do anything with that information? Is it all of the information? This is where the simplicity of slogans and hyperbole and bumper stickers end up with you and I talking past each other. We've got to slow the spread. We've got to flatten the curve. Oh, well, no one wants to work where they could just stay at home. And so we have this back and forth. So today we're going to talk about local shutdowns, who then turned into federal interventions because the global supply chain was disrupted because of the local shutdowns, again, because of the federal interventions and the cycle that we expected to come out of unscathed. So today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of the different slogans that have come out. And we're going to talk about all of the different CARES Act and the GDP contraction and everything else, because how do we learn things in the future, right? How do we see things in the future? How can we show patterns? Well, we show patterns by looking at the previous sequence. If the pattern is red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, I need to know what the previous ones were. You can't just say, hey, here's red, tell me what's next. And so maybe with this, maybe with the information that we have about supply chain and government intervention, we'll finally see something that's happening now, something that will happen in the future. Knowledge is power. So let's charge our batteries today here on Apolitical Talk Show. I'll see you on the other side.
Get ready for Around the House every Saturday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on WRMN AM 1410. If you're a homeowner or contractor looking to tackle those projects that feel a bit too big, this is the show for you. Join Eric along with his knowledgeable guests as they dive deep into everything from DIY renovations to creating a healthy home environment. We'll provide you with the tools and tips you need to complete your projects with confidence and ease. But it's not all work and no play. We believe in having fun. Our passion for home improvement shines through as we help you save time, money, and reduce the stress of DIY. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, don't miss Around the House. Tune in every Saturday night and let's tackle those home projects together.
Shop smarter and greener with Remix Market. We specialize in high-quality, gently used furniture, home decor, and unique treasures, perfect for giving your space a fresh look without hurting your wallet or the planet. As part of the Junk Luggers family, we're on a mission to keep items out of landfills by rehoming them to loving homes like yours. Whether you're decorating, downsizing, or hunting for that perfect one-of-a-kind piece, Remix Market is your sustainable shopping destination. Visit us online at remixmarket.com and start shopping sustainably today.
Chicago defense attorney Mark Schieblo has co-authored the book titled DUI Jury Trial, which is a true story of a DUI case that he defended. The accused was an Illinois truck driver arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol. This book contains facts about the case from the date of the arrest up to the jury's verdict, and this nonfiction novel also includes the transcripts from the jury trial itself. The book DUI Jury Trial is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. and you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to a political talk show here on WRMN. WRMN 1410 AM, WRMN1410.com. COVID-19 pandemic had a multifaceted crisis, intertwined public health emergencies with economic upheavals. Today on Monetary Mondays, we're going to explore the relationship between the local shutdowns, federal economic interventions, and a global supply chain disruption. We'll provide the evidence-based insight into how each influenced the others. And why do we bring it up now? Why do we bring it to the conversation? Well, a few different things. First off, to highlight Biden's economy. Good, bad, otherwise, we want to make sure that we're talking about the things that we know about. And so when we talk about Biden's economy or the inflation or anything else, we want to make sure that we have context. Content and context are two different sides. Content is the book knowledge, the manual, if you will. Content is the doing, the experience side. There's a lot of people that come out of school with content. There's a lot of people that consume content, learn content, memorize content. But the context of doing, being a part, is a whole nother side of things. So when we talk about the slogans, or we talk about the simplification, or we talk about the Occam's razor that we use sometimes in politics, sometimes it's good to turn around and look at our context. Not just the content, not just the slogan, not just the hyperbole. We want to make sure that we know about the interconnectedness of things. News, just like information, just like the government, live in an ecosystem of interconnectedness. Hate to get all pantheology on you, but everything's connected. And so on the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in the early 2020 brought public health and economic systems under strain. In the United States, the government response operated at three primary levels: state and local shutdowns, financial or federal financial support packages, and the exposure to international supply chain disruptions. And the reason number two in which we're talking about this are two out of the three of those things happen quite often. Government response and global systems, supply chain or otherwise. So at the state side, that affected people. Then the federal side had to react. And the global side followed suit. Now, in this time, we've got the federal reacting while the global chain is once again affected. And now on a local level, you and me, our groceries and our purchases are once again being affected. So two folds on it. To actually bring some context to the Biden inflation and to talk about the interconnectedness of federal mandates and changes and how this global economy is affected. So if you go with me in the way back machine, we had the local shutdowns and closures. The implementation of the stay-at-home orders. It's been just over 5 years. In the absence of a national lockdown directive, because again, Donald Trump didn't put that in. It was state. I believe President Trump at the time left it to the states. And there were quite a few states that jumped right into the mandatory lockdown, while others followed suit. Ballotpedia notes that between March and April of 2020, 43 governors issued stay-at-home orders. The earliest large-scale intervention was in New York on May 12th, New Rochelle, New York, not New York, New York. Followed by broader orders in California, Illinois, and New York as a state. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show the unemployment rate peaked at 14.7 that April of 2020. Sectors dependent on physical presence like hospitality, retail, and personal services were disproportionately affected. Talk about the gig economy. There were quite a few bars and people that I know who are performers that just could not make ends meet. According to the Congressional Research Service Report of 2020, job losses were steepest among low-wage earners. This is where we come to our first phrase. We heard this a lot. The cure can't be worse than the disease. Some people put it, we'll sacrifice grandma so for the economy. It's a little bit more morbid. But the phrase was used in public discourse and reflects the viewpoint critical of the lockdowns. The economic data from the National Bureau of Economic Research from 2021 shows lockdown correlation with rapid GDP contraction. But epidemiological, been practicing that word all morning. Those models cited by the CDC demonstrated that the interventions reduced the transmission and reduced fatalities. So again, we talk about the cure can't be worse than the disease. The disease was an actual disease. The cure was the lockdown. But we had the economic contraction because of those lockdowns, which is an ironic place to be in, to have an economic contraction and an inflationary side. Usually inflationary side is everything going up. Of course, we had those federal interventions with the economic stimulus measures. The CARES Act in March 2020 allocating $2.2 trillion Its main components included direct payments, expanded unemployment benefits, and business relief through the Paycheck Protection Program, the December 2020 stimulus, and the March 2021 American Rescue Plan added further rounds of assistance. A lot of people forget who was president at the beginning of the pandemic. Who was president when the first round of stimulus checks came in? Who was president when the PPP loans went out? Those loans that we knew were going to just be grants and didn't need to be paid back. Those same ones that we've got a lot of corruption cases being put in through the system right now. The key components of the federal stimulus side of things, the IRS data confirms distribution of the $1,200 per eligible adult in 2020 and the $1,400 in 2021 under the rescue plan. Unemployment benefits, also part of the CARES Act of that March 2020, added $600 per week to the benefits through July 2020. Brookings Institution research found these payments replaced, are you ready for this? It's a staggering number. Research found these payments replaced more than 100% of lost wages for the majority of recipients. You think about that. $600 a week was more than 100%. No one wants to work when they can stay at home. Do you remember that? This reflects the criticism that enhanced benefit discouraged job seeking. However, academic studies such as those from Yale from 2020 and the University of Chicago found no statistically significant link between enhanced unemployment and the labor force exit. They've also got that PPP, Paycheck Protection Program, the distribution of over $500 billion in forgivable loans to small businesses. Federal Reserve analysis in 2022 concluded that the PPP preserved employment, but the bulk of funds went to business owners, especially those already financially stable.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan. A new chapter begins in Naperville as Mary Gibson and Ashfaq Saeed were sworn in as city council members following a ceremonial inauguration. Returning council members Dr. Benjamin M. White and Ian Holzhauer also took their oath of office, reaffirming their city leadership. New insights have emerged in the decades-old case of Karen Scheppers, the 23-year-old woman missing since 1983. Authorities believe Scheppers' car entered the Fox River far from where it was eventually recovered, its emergency brake locked, signaling that she may have tried to stop the vehicle before it plunged in. Her remains were identified with no evidence of foul play or trauma. The cause of death remains undetermined. The Elgin Police Department is now accepting applications for the role of public safety telecommunicator. This crucial position involves handling emergency and non-emergency calls, providing vital communication between the public and first responders. The deadline to apply is Monday, May 30th. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/apply. That's ethos.com/apply.
At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they know life gets busy. That's why they're here 24/7 to keep your car looking spotless, fast, and easy. Their advanced brush-free wash technology delivers a sparkling clean without a single scratch, because they treat your car like it's their own. Here's the best part. Right now, you can get a free car wash just for joining their text club. It's simple. Just text BRITT to 30400, and your first wash is on them. Britain's Touchless Car Wash has 2 convenient locations, 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin and 555 Willow in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. Text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400. Now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's Touchless Car Wash is the fast, gentle, and reliable choice.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 60. Tonight, partly cloudy with patchy fog after 1 a.m. and a low around 46. Tomorrow, patchy fog before 7 a.m., then mostly sunny with a high near 71. Currently, it is 57 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Welcome back to a political talk show here on WRMN, WRMN1410.com, and broadcasting for the last 75 years on 1410 AM. Go ahead and hold down that number 1 right there on your dial. Program us in. Maybe, you know what? I don't need to be number 1. Maybe number 2. You put it in there. That is the original like button. Go ahead and do it. If you are on the digital side, go ahead and find that like button. There's plenty of them around. Go ahead and give us a like. Give us a follow, especially if you like what's going on. If you ever want to send us a message, there's a couple different ways to do that. You send us a text message, 505-926-1410, 505-926-1410. In the next hour, I'll open up the phone lines. You can jump in with your headlines that you would like to talk about. You can also send us an email. Sonar at WRMN1410 is me. Or you can send it over at info or news at WRMN1410.com. So we're talking about the Biden inflation. We're talking about the PPP loans, and we're talking about slogans and different phrases that you've heard for the arguments. Things like the cure can't be worse than the disease. No one wants to work when they can just stay home. Things like that. I don't know if you heard that towards the end, but we did get to that slogan. Because the unemployment benefits through the CARES Act Put another $600 a week in the benefits. Part of the CARES Act came in March of 2020. That was our 45th president during that time. But there's a couple things that we cannot glance over out of this time. This unemployment benefit of $600 per week replaced more than 100% of lost wages for the majority of recipients. Now, we also talked about how the people that were most affected by the shutdowns, according to the Congressional Research Service report of 2020, job losses were the steepest among those low-wage earners, and now those low-wage earners were getting an extra $600 per week. Once again, verifying that they were low-wage earners by that $600 a week, replacing more than 100% of their lost wages. See how the logical steps come together. So to me, there is some validity to the no one wants to work when they can stay at home. And I get it. But is that a reflection of the worker? Is that a reflection of the government? Or is that a reflection of the people that employ low-wage earners? Well, you're the one that controls their wages. Also found by the, let's see here, Federal Reserve analysis, right from the Federal Reserve itself in 2022, they concluded that the PPP preserved employment, but the bulk of funds went to business owners, especially those already financially stable. Now we hear about those urban legends that are out there about people that fire up a business just so that they could collect from the PPP. And I'm sure the due process and investigations of any of those things are still ongoing. But that's from direct analysis from the Federal Reserve. There's also a lot of people that took out a lot of small business loans. Those small business loans, I believe the majority of them are also delinquent. There has been talk on the federal side of forgiving those loans, but nothing has come to fruition yet. In other studies by the Treasury Department, the Brookings Institution, and the NBER study, they used the work paper number 29669, found that PPP mitigated employment loss, but disproportionately favored firms with high credit access. The Brookings Institution and SBA Inspector General flagged access issues for minority-owned businesses. The Treasury Department acknowledged delays in aid to underserved communities. So when the slogan came out of billionaire bailouts for billionaires, peanuts for the people, or as Mr. Sanders likes to put it, is socialism for the corporations, ruthless capitalism for the rest. Public criticism from that slogan, it captured in this slogan, highlighting the disparities. Objective evidence from the SBA and analysis by ProPublica found that larger firms with wealthier areas were more likely to receive those PPP loans early in the program, while small minority-owned firms faced barriers. And the PPP program was not a Biden program. The $600 for unemployment benefits was not a Biden program. So we talked about people getting locked in. We talked about the reaction of the federal side. But let's talk about the global supply chain disruptions. Reports from the World Bank and McKinsey and Company describe how early 2020 factory shutdowns in China delayed intermediate goods needed in the United States. These disruptions spread as lockdowns took hold in Europe and North America. The Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco in 2023 attributes roughly 3 percentage points of the 2021 U.S. inflation rate to global supply chain bottlenecks. Freight rates and delivery times spiked, contributing to consumer goods shortages and pricing volatility. We talk about supply and demand. Well, when you give the American people a lot of money, they demand things to spend that money on. When you then constrict supply with a high demand, you don't have to take Business 101 to know that the fewer umbrellas on a rainy afternoon are more expensive. So with those 1-2 punches literally on either side of the pricing volatility, the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco attributed roughly 3 percentage points of the 2021 U.S. inflation rate to global supply chain bottlenecks. Firms began reshoring or diversifying supply networks in response. Harvard Business Review, again in 2020, identified accelerated investments in automation and redundancy as business responses to improve resilience. Brings us to our other slogan, from Shanghai to your shelves, when one link breaks, the chain snaps. This captures how global interdependence and supply systems caused local shortages. We had that demand on those local sides because everybody was stuck at home. Give me things. If I can't do, give me things. The objective data from the OECD and UNCTAD validate that disruptions in one part of a supply chain had cascading global effects. That interconnectedness of local, federal, and global responses. Local shutdowns triggered immediate demand contraction and job losses. Federal stimulus mitigated short-term hardship, but it contributed to the elevated consumer demand. This right here brings the next slogan we all hear all the time, or at least something similar to it, of Biden's inflation is twice as much as Trump's. Talk about the 1.9% during the first Trump administration and the 4.7% of the annual inflation from January 21 to December of 22. Analysis from the Congressional Budget Office and Federal Reserve both emphasize that inflation stemmed from multiple sources, including global energy stocks, pandemic demand shifts, and monetary policy continuity. Brings us to that global supply chain. Disruptions, constrained supply, amplifying inflationary effects from the stimulus, and reopening the demand that was closed when, again, the local shutdowns happened. COVID-19 revealed vulnerabilities in our economic, our policy, and of course, our supply systems. State and local shutdowns protected health at an economic cost. Federal interventions buffered households, but had an uneven reach. And global interdependence made domestic recovery contingent on foreign production and logistics. Policymaking going forward must weigh these interdependencies with resilience planning. And this is what a lot of the message that you're hearing from the administration is we need to have less dependency. We need to have more supply chain here. Would that have helped during the pandemic? Absolutely. Having the supply chain local, especially in a global situation, definitely helps. But to blame all, 4.5% on average over the years of the Biden administration, and I think the 1.2 or so, the around 2% from the Trump administration. We have to look at these things not as a red versus blue. We have to look at it as our politicians got us here. Our blue politicians, our red politicians, they're the ones driving. You and I in the back seat, yeah, we may want to yell and scream about how we want to go to Disney World, but that's about as far as our power goes. Are you all ready to say, are we there yet? Over and over and over again until the red and blue partnership that sits in the front seat listens? We'll see. But we have to know where we're going, and we have to know how we're going to get there. And why I brought this up today and why I wanted to bring this up into our conversation is so that we can look at the global interdependencies and what happened when we overcorrected. I'm not saying that the federal government right now is going to just sprinkle down more of those stimulus checks, those sweet, sweet stimulus checks, right? But what happens when you drink too much coffee? What happens when you have too much of a stimulant? We start to see the energy break itself apart. So we can talk a little bit about these slogans. The cure can't be worse than the disease. Yes, we are living through the inflation that's there because that was the cure to make sure the disease, the literal disease, didn't have as many transmissions and fatalities. Don't take my word for it. Epidemiological models cited by the CDC demonstrated that the interventions reduced the transmission. Okay? But the National Bureau of the Economic Research shows the lockdowns correlated with rapid GDP contraction. Right? We knew it was going to happen. Jeff's Train World is admitting on YouTube right now that he's AI. Thanks for being here, Alex. Thanks for being here, Brendan. Jeff. He says, I'm all in with WRMN. Oh, that's what he means by AI. All in. No one wants to work when they can stay home. We heard that one too. This reflects the criticism that enhanced benefits, that $600 a week extra, discourage job seeking. However, academic studies such as those from Yale and the University of Chicago found no statistically significant link between enhanced unemployment and the labor force. Now, no link for that particular thing. Maybe. But that's what Yale and the University of Chicago come together. I think they have two separate reports. But that sentiment was still there. No one wants to work when they can stay at home. And I think a lot of that was because the Brookings Institute research found that these payments were more than 100% of lost wages for a majority of recipients. That $600 a week was more than their baseline for some people. Bailouts for billionaires, peanuts for the people. Public criticism captured in this slogan highlights the disparities. The objective evidence found at SBA and analysis by ProPublica. It's a Small Business Administration, by the way, SBA. Found that larger firms and wealthier areas were more likely to receive PPP loans early in the program. Again, for the bailout for the billionaires. And when we talk about all the different stimulus, we talk about the PPP, we talk about the $500 billion in forgivable loans, we always seem to attribute that to the Biden administration. No. CARES Act was first. And the CARES Act had not only the unemployment benefits, but also that PPP and $1,200 per eligible adult. All of that money from that CARES Act. Good, bad, otherwise, let's give credit where credit is due. I don't like to just give the good parts to one person and the bad parts to the other. That's not how that works. We talk about the long-term implications with the slogan from Shanghai to your shelves. When one link breaks, the chain snaps. It captures how the global interdependence and supply systems caused local shortages. And we'll probably see those local shortages again. We've heard from, I assume is a very credible source, that you don't have to buy 30 dolls. Maybe you just buy 3 and those dolls cost a little bit more. And of course, what we'll do is we'll go through the last one, the one that really is a big slogan of how Biden's inflation has been twice as much as Trump's. And according to the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics data, average annual inflation from January 2021 to December 2022 was 4.7% versus that year before of the 1.9 during the Trump administration. Analysts from the Congressional Budget Office and Federal Reserve emphasize that inflation stemmed from multiple sources, including global energy stocks, pandemic demand shifts, and monetary policy continuity. When we talk about the inflation of the pandemic, we need to make sure that we are talking about it with, for those of you playing at home, that's right, context. We like to forget who was when where, when it is so much easier to just pull out Occam's razor and point a finger at one person. You're listening to Apolitical Talk Show. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and break down some of these headlines. I'm going to find a few blind spot stories. Check out ground.news. That's the place to go. Apolitical Talk Show can also be found on your favorite podcasting platform. Spotify, Pandora, Apple, YouTube, a bunch of them that are out there. Check out Apolitical Talk Show, where we post many of them that are on there. Thanks to you that are listening to this one right now. If you ever miss anything here on WRMN, best place to go, especially if it's the local programming, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com. You'll find WRMN Radio over there. I hope to find you over there as well, and I hope to find you back here after the top of the hour news.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-433-3082. 800-433-3082. 800-433-3082. That's 800-433-3082.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 5 o'clock.
WRMN News.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. Sunday marked the formal end of the 9-day mourning period for the late Pope Francis. News Nation's Nick Smith reports.
In just a matter of days, Catholic faithful around the world will be keeping an eye on smoke signals from a small chimney installed over the Sistine Chapel. The smoke will be the first sign to the world that a new Catholic leader has been chosen. The papal conclave begins Wednesday when cardinals will sequester themselves from the outside world to elect a new pope. There are cardinals from 71 different countries who will be part of this conclave, making it the most geographically diverse one in history.
2/3 majority is needed to be elected pope. In Barrington, the police department has introduced its first ever therapy dog, Oliver, a 17-week-old English Labrador. Oliver will assist officers during community events, wellness visits, and victim interviews, helping to ease stress and build trust between the department and residents. The initiative is part of Barrington's broader effort to expand mental health and wellness support through non-traditional policing strategies. Today, the Department of Education will resume collecting on defaulted student loans through wage and benefit garnishments. With many students like Stephanie Gentry financially struggling, this change could be crippling.
The tsunami of just financial worry, whether it be from inflation or the tariffs or also student debt.
Over 5 million student loan borrowers are currently in default. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green.
Produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
I'm Nick Freeman, and here's what was happening in our fair city 100 years ago. Police today were attempting to establish the ownership of a Chevrolet automobile truck containing 2 half barrels of alleged beer and parked in an alley in the rear of the Royal Cigar Store last night. Police officers watched the truck for over an hour, but no one appeared to claim it. Authorities are inclined to believe that the alleged beer runners were tipped off to the officers' presence. Officer Schmuel notified the police station of the truck's discovery at 8:10 o'clock. Led by Mayor Earl R. Kelly, a squad of policemen investigated. A telegram was sent to the Secretary of State at Springfield last night for information regarding the holder of the automobile truck license number. Up until noon today, no reply had been received. Police declare that the truck has been in Elgin before. It is believed to be the property of an Aurora beer runner. The 2 half barrels were seized and are pending an analysis by city officials who will ascertain the contents. In weather news, Elgin was visited by a real honest-to-goodness frost last night. The thermometer showed a low temperature of 31 degrees, which is 1 degree below freezing.
Elgin 100 years ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 years ago at www.elginhistory.org.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 60. Tonight, partly cloudy with patchy fog after 1 a.m. and a low around 46. Tomorrow, patchy fog before 7 a.m., then mostly sunny with a high near 71. Currently, it is 57 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding the unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hello, my fellow Americans, and good day to our friends around the world. This is a political talk show here on WRMN. That's WRMN 1410 AM and WRMN1410.com. For those of you who are digitally inclined, if you've got one of those fancy smart speakers around you, just tell it to play WRMN 1410. It knows all about us. It's a fancy smart speaker. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the show. My name is Dennis Onar Green. In the last hour, we talked about inflation, talked about Biden's inflation, which honestly is anybody who was involved with the pandemic's inflation. And we talk about all of the money that was put to people to, quote, get them to stay home, and where that money came from. If you're interested in that, a couple different ways to do that. You can find A Political Talk Show on your favorite podcasting platform, or you can go to YouTube, youtube.com, by the way. You find WRMN Radio sitting right there. In this hour, we're going to open up the phone lines, 847-931-1410, 847-931-1410. We're going to run down some headlines here while we open up those phone lines. Jump in. A couple of things on my docket over here is we now have a 100% tariff on foreign-made films. So if you've got subtitles, you're going to pay extra for it. We've also got Alcatraz possibly being reopened. We've got some great quotes from Mike Pence on the Constitution about how it, quote, binds us across time and generations. Former Vice President talking about the Constitution. We've also got the NIH director that says they have closed the last Beagle lab. Thanks for joining me here on A Political Talk Show. Again, 847-931-1410 is the place to go if you want to call in or send us a text message. Text message is 505-926-1410. She says, the boss lady, by the way, says, I hate the bread maker. Yeah, some people don't like that, especially the hole in the middle that you get. You ever try to make a tuna fish sandwich? The big old hole in the middle of your bread? Not so good. We've also got David Tees, who sent in how the Greater Elgin Republicans are gearing up. Join us Saturday, May 10th at the American Legion, 820 North Liberty Street in Elgin. GEAR, which is the Greater Elgin Area Republicans, is a grassroots social group for Republican voters to network and share ideas. Join us every second Saturday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the local spot each month. Drop in, connect, and don't miss the 7 p.m. Soapbox Hour. Time for speeches, opinions, and open discussion when possible. GEAR is also on Facebook. Check them out, Greater Elgin Area Republicans. If you have anything that you would like us to read out or a event that you would like us to promote, it's just as easy as that. 505-926-1410. That's the place to go. So we're going to talk a little bit about our first story here. And I think that first story is probably going to be something that's a little bit lighter on the side because, again, I think it's just trolling. And we saw this not only for Alcatraz, but also for the incredibly distasteful I'll be next Pope, which didn't even happen like It happened before even the time of mourning was done. And I know this is a big vibes check with the Alcatraz prison. And when I've been talking in conservative groups about this, there's a lot of people that realize that. They realize that it's not feasible to reopen Alcatraz. Let's get into it. 486 articles put together with this. So many. Largest absolutely come from the center with 182. Left, only 83. Right has 45 articles, but it is not set as a blind spot because, again, it's all about the vibe. So they want to make sure that the vibe comes out. You can read it from all sides. There isn't any extreme left or right that's reporting on it. But Raw Story, if you're on the left side, Huffington Post as well, if you're on that right side, the left side, and you want something to read on the left side. Epoch Times, the Daily Caller, the Daily Wire, things like that on the right, if you're looking for that bias. You can always hit down the center with the BBC News, Reuters, News Nation, The Hill, things like that. So what is happening here? Well, President Trump says he is directing his government to reopen and expand Alcatraz, the former prison in California, in case you didn't know. He stated that reopening would serve as a symbol of law and order and justice. Trump announced that the jail will house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. Alcatraz was previously closed due to high operating costs, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons website. And even on the conservative groups that I follow on Reddit and Facebook, yes, they see it. They see this as the symbol. They see it as the trolling or the vibe check, as the kids say. But they also agree that it's absolutely not feasible, and it's probably not something that's going to happen. And again, this is back to my frustration of why say it. When you say something as the president of the United States, people listen. Even when you call yourself a donut, people listen. If you can't spell potato, people listen. So I don't understand how this one person can't seem to take their word for anything. Reopen Alcatraz? I don't know. If you want to read all about it, again, a bunch of articles that are out there. You're going to look for Alcatraz prison and reopening on a few of the things that are around. Trump to reopen Alcatraz prison if you're going for the Independent. Any of those three words, Trump, Alcatraz, and prison, will definitely get you there. When we come back, we're going to talk about what Mike Pence has written about. We're going to see a few different places. We're starting to see, some more Republicans from the Romney Republicans or the Reagan Republicans starting to speak up. Is it because the approval rating is under 40? We'll see. More Apolitical Talk Show coming up after this. If you want to go ahead and give us a call, 847-931-1410. 847-931-1410. Headlines and phone lines on Apolitical Talk Show, WRMN.
Here on WRMN AM 1410, we like to keep you informed and in tune to what's happening here in the Fox River Valley and what's going on here on WRMN. We recognize the importance of local radio to be a part of the conversation and to be a part of the community for the community.
You know, we talked about the importance of community theater. But supporting community radio is a big deal too. And, you know, for WRMN, this is a really cool thing that you guys do every day. And a really important thing. You have to have a local media outlet to talk about what's going on in your town. So you guys do a nice job.
Tune in to AM 1410, WRMN. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WRMN Radio. Keep in tune and informed on what's happening here in the Fox River Valley, right here on WRMN. Looking to set sail on your dream vacation? Cruises International has you covered. Specializing in land and sea getaways, they're here to make your vacation unforgettable. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, they offer personalized service with a global network of specialists to ensure your trip is tailor-made just for you. Call today at 800-255-7447 to speak with a cruise and vacation expert. And don't miss Travel Tuesdays on WRMN AM 1410 every first Tuesday of the month from 11 to 12 p.m. on Out to Lunch. That's Cruises International. Your vacation, your way.
A recent Gallup poll indicated that 38% of Americans are putting off healthcare because of financial concerns, the highest ever recorded. I'm Dr. Bob Martin, here to serve you every Sunday afternoon from 1 to 4. Millions of Americans are seeking health advice that will not cost an arm and a leg, so I offer health tips and advice absolutely free. Listen to my show, Sunday afternoons from 1 to 4 right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM, the voice of the Valley.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Thank you! Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
Welcome back to A Political Talk Show, WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. We're breaking down some headlines. Got that phone line open, 847-931-1410 if you want to hop in. The main story that we've got, I mean, other than the look in the past from the first hour, but the main story has a couple different articles that are all kind of putting together. We talked about the interconnectedness of news and the interconnectedness of local and federal and global decisions. Again, not to be a big old pantheologist today of the interconnectedness of everything, but it's true. The holistic approach to the world might do us some good here on the political side, especially when the medicine and the remedy is prescribed by the Constitution. So let's talk a little bit about the Constitution, right? You listen to this show, you know that it's only a matter of time before that baby comes out. And so what we're going to talk about is Mike Pence. Why are we talking about Mike Pence? Well, former Vice President Mike Pence invoked the Constitution, noting it binds Americans, quote, across time and generation. This is while accepting the John F. Kennedy Profile and Courage Award this Sunday. You can read more about it. Extra. Read all about it. TheHill.com has a great place for it. There's only a few articles about this. The Hill's one of them. I love listening to The Hill or reading The Hill. It's a News Nation product, and they really strive to be a digital centered type of side, even to the point where it's just like me. You're going to frustrate both sides, and that's how you know you're doing something right. When you get that's not fair from both sides, that's when you know you're doing it right. So the article that I picked from The Hill is Pence, Constitution binds us across time and generations. Posted earlier this morning. Lauren Irwin posted it. Great read. You can also listen to a lot of articles off of thehill.com as well, if you're one of those Audible book type of people. To forge the future together, we have to find common ground, Pence said, according to ABC News. I hope in some small way my presence here tonight is a reminder that whatever differences we may have as Americans, the Constitution is the common ground on which we stand. It's what binds us across time and generations. It's what makes us one people. I saw you there, caller. You can come right back. Pence's remarks come just hours after President Trump indicated skepticism in an interview about his need to follow the Constitution in those deportation cases. The president was asked whether he must uphold the Constitution for deportations, and the president replied, I don't know. He said he was unsure and was, quote, not a lawyer when asked if citizens and non-citizens are entitled to due process. And I don't want to invoke the 14th Amendment. I don't want to invoke oaths. But you know that it is not good when you ask guy who swore to uphold the Constitution, will you uphold the Constitution? And that guy says, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. By all means, call in. Justify it up. We've got one caller in here. Let's go ahead and bring him over. Hello, caller. Welcome aboard. How are you?
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing well. What would you like to talk about today, sir?
This is David. So, yeah, again, as far as the Constitution, sorry.
Yeah.
We live in a new era. Do what you want. It's against the law. It's against the rules. Rules are for garbage cans. You know, just do what you want, what you feel like. Who cares what's in place, what's decided upon? Just do what you feel and what's going to be the best for maybe other people, but mainly for you and your ego. And
do you think it's a sign of the culture? Not necessarily a sign of the person or anything else? Do you think it's more of a sign of the culture there, David?
Well, I think it's a sign of the person, but that has spilled over into society, and society is becoming increasingly more independent, and I could care less about any rules. An anarchy society, and a certain person, without mentioning his name that you just mentioned, he seems to promote him and others promote. They swear on their life to uphold the Constitution and this and that, and then once they're elected, they just do and say anything sometimes, but whatever it takes to make their ego happy.
Yeah, my dad told me early on that a man's name is worth their weight in gold. And it's mostly because of keeping your word. being able to say something and have the thing happen. There's a lot of power in that versus saying something and doing whatever you want to, like you're saying here.
Right, but it's a new culture, a new era, and I don't get it. It's sick. And then real quick about Alcatraz, I don't know if those comments about reopening it are real, but at this point, even if they were to keep Alcatraz, they'd probably have to, or be better off demolishing it and rebuilding it from the ground up. There's going to be so many mold issues, stagnant air, radon, maybe, and just so many issues that.
That's what I'm seeing a lot in the forums, David, is that people are taking it more, even the supporters are taking it more as a troll than it is as a serious side. So I don't know. We thought it wasn't serious about Greenland until they started sending family members over there. So. What next? That's tomorrow. I mean, we just think things can't go to new levels of weirdness, and every day or every other day or every week. Mount Rushmore. I want Mount Rushmore. I want my face on the moon.
That's probably nuts. I thought I heard it all, and then probably my name across the sky. Oh, guess what? There's a Trump. There's a new Trump thing unveiled for all on the planet and universe, even to see and to bow down to serve. Have a good day.
Thanks, David. To add it again, the next one that I heard was that there is going to be a ballroom added to the White House. President Trump is looking at actually funding it himself, which good on him. If he wants a ballroom, I guess he can put it in there. There's a bowling alley, so why not a ballroom? So when we come back, I've got an audio clip for it. Don't just take my word for this. I've got an audio clip of the president with Christian Welker. One of my favorite shows that are out there of Meet the Press. Chuck Todd did a fantastic job on that for a very long time. Barbara Walters before that. In fact, it is the longest running television show ever in the history of the world. I guess recorded history of the world. We don't know what happened before Atlantis. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the discussion. I saw that other caller sitting over there. I had to go to a break. I know you're there. I know you're trying to get in. The Constitution. I swore an oath to the Constitution. People would be pretty upset if I broke that. In fact, if I broke that oath to the Constitution, I wouldn't be allowed to run, according to the 14th Amendment. We talk about states that didn't want some people on the ballot because of breaking oaths. We'll see what the oath looks like now.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan. Brought to you by Wendy's. Elgin Mayor Dave Captain says he opposes implementing a local grocery tax to counter the state's expiring grocery tax, which will leave a $1.2 million gap in Elgin's budget. Instead, recently approved water and sewer rate increases are set to cover infrastructure improvements. The city council is also considering a ban on single-use plastic bags with a possible 10-cent fee per paper alternative. A Carpentersville man faces multiple felony charges for alleged crimes involving a child. Authorities say 23-year-old Federico A. Vega Jr. was arrested in North Carolina. They allege he possessed explicit images and videos involving children. He's charged with manufacturing and possessing child pornography, criminal sexual assault, and criminal sexual abuse. He's expected to be extradited back to Illinois soon. Kane County homeowners should expect their first installment of their 2024 real estate tax bills to arrive this week, with payment due by June 2nd, that according to Treasurer Chris Lawson. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye
eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then vote.
Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin or head to their website at caneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit caneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, patchy fog is expected after 1 a.m. with partly cloudy skies and a low around 46. Looking ahead to tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 71. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with a low around 52. Currently, it is 58 and partly cloudy. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Welcome back to a political talk show, WRMN. It's the place you're listening right now. That's WRMN 1410 on the AM dial. Check out WRMN Radio on YouTube. You can find the link at WRMN1410.com. We're talking about former Vice President Mike Pence's speech. He spoke on Sunday while accepting the John F. Kennedy Profile in Courage Award. He said, "To forge a future together, we have to find common ground." Talks about the Constitution. About how Constitution is the common ground in which we stand. And dear listener, you and I have talked about this too when we talked about definitions on one of our Word Wednesdays. Do you remember republic? David called in earlier and talked about anarchy. Anarchy is a society devoid of rules, or at least no enforcement of them, or no agreed upon rules. I mean, you can keep rules of morality, eye for an eye, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's usually what it ends up boiling down to in an anarchy. But us civilized folk, we like to come in on a republic. Republicans, I would hope, even more so. Because a republic, all it is a group of people that agree on the rules. It's not a monarchy where a single person makes all of the rules. Or an oligarchy where a group of people make all of the rules. It's a republic. The republic for which it stands, I believe, is how it goes. And the republic is when we decide to agree on the Constitution. We've been there. Put it together. Former Vice President Mike Pence. It's a reminder that whatever differences we have as Americans, the Constitution is the common ground on which we stand. Speaking the the obvious truth, you and me both, brother. We'll go ahead and go to a caller. 847-931-1410 is the place to go. 847-931-1410. Hello, caller. Welcome aboard. What would you like to talk about?
It's just me. I'm double dipping today.
Oh, double dipping Dutch man. That's
Sorry
okay.
about that.
David did too. That's okay.
Oh no, well, it was nice to hear David. He used to be a morning guy with Marky B. So.
Oh yeah.
It's good to see him. Yeah. So, you're bringing up a lot of stuff today. When you were talking with Nancy too, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The way the government has been run for a long, long time, I've called it an oligarchy for years, for decades, because, and you've heard me say this before, is the rich people are the ones that run this country. It's not us.
Yeah, it always has been until about the New Deal came about and kind of poked at that new golden age or gilded age that they put together. And this is the cycle. They've been crawling it back ever since.
Well, there's a lot of problems. The government, see, I firmly believe the government shouldn't be paying for a lot of stuff. We should do it state by state. For instance, state parks and forests should be, if you have a national park or a national forest, it shouldn't be a national anymore. It should be a state forest. Same idea, national, but it should be, the state should be paying for it instead of the national forest.
Yeah, I could see that.
And there's departments out there. Now, I read something, they want to change this and put, I think it was the Department of Agriculture, the Department of the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, and the Forest Service and Park Service in one group or something like that. But I firmly believe now the Department of Agriculture is not the Forest Service or the Park Service. They shouldn't have anything to do with it. That's for food. It's for food and farming, not agriculture. What it says. Why did I guess what I'm saying. We have too many departments in the government, and it keeps growing. And there's a lot of people out there who resent the fact. And I do believe a lot of these guys a lot of people are being laid off for no reason. But I said this earlier, why couldn't they go department by department, and not doing everything all at once, just do a little at a time?
Well, and that's where a lot of people are falling off right now. And I see you there, David. I'll bring you on in just a second. But that's where I've seen a lot of people get away from what's going on. They like the goal. They like what they want to get done. They like, hey, immigration and the economy and government efficiency and all of these great, amazing goals. But honestly, what I'm starting to see right now, Jeff, is that that message that they all dangled in front of us was the propaganda.
Well, I believe it. I believe 100%.
Look, this is what you all want. This is it. Okay. Well, I'm going to do it this way, regardless of what's going on. We all assumed that it would be done according to the Constitution and the law. Whether or not the goals happen, I think it's just going too quick.
It's propaganda, and that's all it is propaganda. It's been that way for decades.
Mm-hmm.
The situation is now is we have the internet. Okay, so how much of this stuff when you read on the internet is true and how if it's not? And I do this on a daily basis. I can't read anything anymore because I don't believe it.
Okay, well here's a tool. Here's a tool for you. Everybody says this. We all say it, but we got to read a lot. That's the first way to do it. If you read a lot, then you'll get it in. The other tool that I use is there's an independent grading system called Ad Fontes Media. If you go to adfontesmedia.com, what you'll do is you'll see an interactive map, and of course they take donations or whatever it is, but it's a non-for-profit, and it's an interactive map based off of bias and factuality. So if you want to look at a media report card, that's the place to go. Adfontesmedia.com. You're able to almost search any of the people that are out there. Hopefully I'll get on there. I'll be big enough that they'll grade me one day and get my own report card. But what they do is, let me tell you the process real quick so that you're just like, well, what is it? What they do is they take each individual article that comes out from a publication and they grade that article based off of factuality, which is how did they get it done right the first time? If there was any corrections, how quickly and if they did the corrections is the factuality. Then they grade it based off of bias, of how much does it lean one way or the other based off of the words that are used or the descriptions or things like that. And they do that for each individual article that comes out, and then that is tallied to be part of that interactive map. So if you wanted to look at a grade for a certain article that they did, they will have that grade available for you.
I'm going to do that. And I actually go straight to the horse's mouth. A lot of times I'll go look up whatever senator and congressman, and I've actually written a couple.
Yeah, 202.
I've gotten there, but it's hard. It's harder now because of all the security and, post 9/11 and all that kind of stuff. So now it's gotten to be crazy because I'm sure they're getting an earful from everybody at this point.
202-224-3121. 202-224-3121 is the U.S. Capitol switchboard. You give them your zip code, and they connect you to either your representative or your senator. They'll take you right there.
How did I give you that? Did I give you that phone number? No.
I got it on speed dial, man. I hold it down, and it just goes.
I'll get off. I know.
Hey, thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate it.
Just remember this. Remember this real quick.
Good.
Okay, people, where's the God in God we trust? They're taking that out. Okay, so whether you're religious or not, to me, that should stay in it anyway. I don't judge or not. I'm religious, but I don't care, what people feel if you go a different way. I think this country was set up that way, and I think it should stay that way because it keeps everybody tightly knit and gelled, I guess. But in today's generation doesn't seem to care about that anymore. So it's I personally think it's but
what is it? Judge not lest.
And tell David hi.
Judge not lest ye be judged, or for those secular people, what is it? Those that live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, pal.
I'm going to bring you something one of these days. I'll talk to you guys.
I appreciate it. Broadcasting live downtown Elgin right here, watching all of the people walk by. I've got some visitors here or there that are coming by, but let's bring in David Tease from the phone lines as well. Hello, Mr. Tease. Have you heard any of the clips as far as the interview for Christian Welker?
No, not yet. I
Okay.
plan on watching that in a
Well,
little while.
check it out. It's pretty good. It's the full interviews on YouTube. It's about an hour long or so. Don't just take the clips, because there's a lot of people that are slicing some stuff up, man.
Okay. I want to go before you interrupted. Let me speak this out here. I want to let's go in the time machine. Let's go back about immigration. During the Clinton era, he deported a lot of people. Said we got to close our borders. We must secure our borders. Then they had all these forklifts with government waste spending boxes with folders and all that, but we never saw what's inside. So let's speed up a little bit. Obama deported a lot of immigrants, illegal immigrants too. But remember, the fact is that the videos that we saw of the separated the families, they were living in glass cells with aluminum blankets.
Oh my goodness, yes. They had the survivor blankets. Some of them were outside as well. There was no roof at all other than the cage on top. Yeah, man, it was terrible.
Yeah, and the Republicans were the ones going there, wanted to see him and see all this stuff. Now, let's speed up. Now, allegedly Joe Biden deported illegals, which I find that hard to believe, okay? But let's speed up to Trump. Now, we got Trump in office, and now he is deporting illegals, and now they're claiming due process. They're fighting them left and right, but nobody batted an eye when it was Obama, okay, or Clinton, or allegedly Joe Biden. But what I'm trying to get to the point is that why is it all of a sudden a big issue because of Trump? I mean, the Constitution does say, that you're taking an oath, Congress and senators and presidents, to protect our borders, to follow the Constitution. Now, that being said, they're saying they're supposed to have due process. Well, we're allowed underneath the Miranda rights. You're allowed to have due process, a speedy and fast trial. Okay. I haven't seen that. We see a lot of criminals in the past. Their trials go on for a year or 2 years, 3 years. OJ and Diddy and all that stuff. I mean, it's not past due process. But it's like almost like we talked about. You brought this up. You asked me the question: does this seem theatrical? It does seem theatrical to me, because every time we have a different party taking control of the White House, it seems to be that everybody flips sides and wants to justify how it should go. This is the way we interpret it. And that's what bothers me the most. I mean, I'm sorry, the lady that talked Friday and all that stuff, with the criminals, I didn't bring this up, and I should have. Which her house was taken over by illegals. It might not have been illegals. It could have been illegals, but the gangs were taking over neighborhoods. Look what the Venezuelan gangs did in Aurora, Colorado, with the apartments. They walked in there and threw those people out and took over that place. That's her story in a different way,
absolutely,
in a different era. Okay, so why is it seems like every time we've had a different president, a Democrat or Republican, and immigration tips in, it seems like, to me, the Democrat Party gets to go ahead and deport them. Nobody bats an eye. The Republicans were standing up for them. But now, all of a sudden, it's flip-flop.
I think it's the way things are done, Dave. I think what the biggest thing is, I think it's the processes for doing it. Now, what's terrible about it is the execution of things. Goals and things like that, I think, are one. But I think the way that's happening right now is that the due process in the fact of proving everything is what is the hiccup. When we talk about Obama, we talk about that as people who were captured right there in the act of doing it, right? Like they were crossing over, they were on a bridge, they walked, heck, some people even walked up to a person, I'm sure, on a fold-out table. And then they were escorted to custody. What's happening now is people are getting plucked off the streets for it. The intention is to be chaos. Even to the point where people who are showing up for immigration hearings are getting picked up at the courthouse. which discourages people from doing it the right way, which is what they're doing right now. And so I think that's what's the real bothersome side of it, is that, yes, it is a back and forth. They're both going to swabble whatever's on there because that's what they're supposed to do. There's always supposed to be somebody who is, quote, a counter position. Now, the problem is that you and I can both see with this, Mr. Tease, is that the counter is a planned counter. The Republicans do something so the Democrats can complain about it. And then the Democrats do something so the Republicans complain about it, all while nobody does anything.
Right. And Governor Rotter, he was governor of the Illinois. He was the one that came up with the law that passed that police officers cannot walk up to a Hispanic, ask them their immigration status. You remember that law that was passed? Well, that was because he was, in a way, trying to protect him from, the president that was currently in office that was trying to pluck him off the streets. And, they were plucking him off the street during the Obama time. It's like a Cubs fan. If the Cubs are winning and going to the World Series, all the White Sox fans jump on that bandwagon. And if it's vice versa, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just too much.
Well, the thing is after they were pulled off the street in the Obama era, they were then put before a judge. What's happening is they're getting plucked off the street. The ICE agent is making the call and deciding where everything's going. No judge, no nothing. So I think that's the big takeaway with this one. And I absolutely understand it. The back and forth, he did this, they did that side is exactly what Pence is talking about here. Is he's saying even if we disagree on who should do this and what should do that, we all fall back down onto the Constitution. And part of that is being able to face your accuser in front of a judge. And that's why I brought up yesterday the part of the speedy trial is ask Merrick Garland, ask Jack Smith about speedy trials, right?
Yeah.
So we talk about this, and the president of the United States right now has been the beneficiary of due process. And my problem with this is we can't see the logic of, look at it this way. Let's say I'm just pulled off the street. I match a description of what's going on. Guy in what I'm wearing today, black hoodie, a blue collared work shirt, and a hat with a beard, gets pulled over or is doing some nefarious things, getting called out. What is the thing? What is the mechanism? What is the way to prove if I did or did not do it? That's what we're running into right now, is the same thing of being asked for papers on the street.
Right.
Is, okay, prove to me that you're a person that's supposed to be here. Well, what if I don't have that? Do I get a chance to go before somebody to prove that this is happening? Or do you just automatically assume, because of my accent and the way I look, that I shouldn't be here and you're just going to pop me on a plane out in the world? It's due process that prevents that. It's I get the hey, let's pump the brakes. And yeah, you're right. A lot of times the justice system parks. Doesn't just pump the brakes, pulls over and goes, okay, well, I'm going to go have a sandwich and do whatever else I'm going to do. But it's slow, but it prevents innocent people from having to face a judgment or having to face a consequence for something that they didn't do.
Right. And here's another thing that I went out, I looked around, I talked to somebody today, and they noticed the same thing, the exact same thing. Cinco de Mayo is today, okay?
Yes.
And I have not seen one I'm going to tell you this right now. Years in the past, we've seen the cars with the hood covering with the Mexico flag and the flags hanging from their windows and the parades and the parties. I have not seen one today, nor have I seen one all weekend long. You know, I mean, it's like.
And David, I hate to tell you this. That is the goal. That's the goal of all of this.
Right.
The goal is to take a people and a culture or a subset of the United States, whether or not the legal status or otherwise, live here right now.
Yeah, right.
And make them afraid.
Yep, that's what it seems like.
And that's the goal.
He wants to put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're scared. It's like they're all worried. And the ones that are legal shouldn't be worried. I mean, you shouldn't. You should celebrate your independence, your beliefs, and all that stuff. But wow.
But here's the issue: is if I don't have due process, what tells those people that I am supposed to be here? That's the problem, Dave. Yeah. That's the problem with the whole thing. Is if I don't have my papers on with me all the time, and even then, what if you don't believe them?
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're getting at that point. That was the point I wanted to bring up. I mean, they're scared.
Yes.
I get it. And you don't have the paper with you. You're shoved into a van and thrown into a cell. And I get that part. But yeah, it's like, wow, what a difference. I mean, I feel sad because they have to go through that. But then again, they're also having to suffer from what illegal immigration, migrants coming across our border. The people in Mexico, I saw a documentary, they're protesting right now in the streets. They don't want these people in their country. They're coming from Venezuela and Colombia and all that stuff, just like we're doing here. Just like now, Britain is doing the exact same thing with the Muslims. They're in the streets protesting. I mean, it's just a trend, you know?
It is. Thanks for talking, Dave. I appreciate you being on.
Okay, bye-bye.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. Be proud who you are, who you hang out with, and be proud that we all live here in a place that, as the former vice president says, a constitution that binds us across time, generations, and I would say as long as you live here, hopefully binds us by nationalities to form patriots.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 6 o'clock.